Welcome to Self-Perfected.
Oh,
Okay, hold up.
Hello.
Don't we have to
Can't
live
hold
it
up, right? We're recording.
too?
we're
Hey, there we go.
recording.
Okay,
We're
okay,
on.
okay.
We're on.
Okay,
All right.
first. I know,
First
I
of
know
all.
Drake. I know Drake has something. Drake always wants to share these things. It's like what I imagine is like a pastor, and he's just waiting for Sunday. He's got like blue balls until Sunday. Then he's like gonna just go in on Sunday morning.
Or
But
if you're a Catholic priest, you've got blue balls like permanently.
I don't know. Do they? Do
No,
they
you
though?
don't. You don't have blue balls
Yeah.
permanently. You
You
have
should.
altar voice.
I think they resolved that.
But check that out, man. Like that's kind of fucked up. Like do you have a whole the guys who lead the church are like sexually frustrated.
You know what?
And it's supposed to be some kind of proof that they're like, really upstanding or something. And it's like you're not even a man, dude. You can't have sex. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was watching this thing. It was Owen Benjamin, and he was talking about how he was making this joke. It was so funny. He was like, this guy. I saw this guy. His name is like he goes by Kill Tony. Like he's a comedian or whatever.
Oh, yeah. He's
like,
cool.
he's like, I hear that he's like selling out arenas. He's like, I saw this guy when I was coming up in the Comedy Store. He wasn't funny then. He's not funny now. So, I was thinking like, how is this guy, selling out arenas? I know how he's selling out arenas. And he goes, and then that same day, I'm getting a suggestion from YouTube, and he shows the thumbnail, and it's Kill Tony, Joe Rogan, what does it say? Discuss the origins of sodomy. Right. And he's like, this is how he got it to the arenas. He's like, he's not that funny to sell out arenas. But then he goes, he said he like posted that on his Twitter, and people were like, you're just jealous, whatever. And he's like, no, I don't engage in sodomy. It would be like the same thing. Like, when you're telling that kid, like, oh, you're just jealous the priest likes me. You're just jealous that, like, he lets me, speak in front of the altar for Christmas. You're just jealous because he gives me gifts. Like, no, I'm not gay. Like, so I'm making fun of you. So, yeah.
Anyway. Well, speaking of things that we were watching, over here, where we don't watch the sodomy shit, we were watching Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's all better.
No, every once in a while we
Wasn't
like to
there a
watch
gay
these
porn
movies.
scene in there?
I don't think you're watching the same Suicide Squad. I don't know. We watched the original 2016 one. Apparently, there's a second one. First one is called Suicide Squad. Second one is called The Suicide Squad. I don't know who did their
Is
marketing.
there actually different ones?
There's actually a different one. Anyway, the first one. We were just watching it because we're like, I don't know. Every once in a while, we like to watch a movie. Without our kid, of course.
Oh, thanks.
I was thinking though, probably fucked up because there's so many kids who have seen this stuff. And anyway, without going into that, afterwards, we're like, okay, that was interesting. So we got recommended this thing on YouTube that said movies of 2024 or something. And they're all so fucked up. One is about Civil War. It's just so absolutely ridiculous. But one especially, it's called Tim. Have you guys heard of this?
Tim? Like,
Yeah,
it's called
like
Tim
TIM.
Pool?
It's like an acronym. No, oh man. I think it stands for like totally integrated machine or something. But it's this movie about this AI robot that gets placed in the home. And then the AI robot, like it's like a male robot, whatever, like starts to fall in love with the woman.
Does it wear like a metallic beanie?
No.
Does it say?
Shout out for everyone who
Does it
understood
say
that
we're
reference.
on the verge of civil war?
Yeah, does he capitalize all these fucking words in his YouTube videos? No. Not that I'm aware. I only saw the trailer though. But
Well, hang on. Do you guys even believe in movies? Like, are movies actually a thing?
I think it's a conspiracy theory.
I don't think movies actually.
I just watch trailers nowadays because
I
you get the
don't-
whole thrill of
No,
it.
no,
in 2 minutes.
I don't think movies are a thing, Mitch. I think they're just all documentaries. Like, I think maybe movies used to exist in the past.
I don't know, because there's a new Ghostbusters that's coming out that was like ridiculous.
I do think they're all propaganda now.
Yeah.
It was like a climate change Ghostbusters. Yeah, it was really crazy.
What, Tim?
No. There's a new Ghostbusters. Okay, we literally watched like 8 back-to-back trailers on movies of 2024. It was
Is this
really
a new
entertaining.
Ghostbusters or is it just the newest?
It's a new
one.
I don't know. It's like coming out in 2024.
Okay, like that's a
It's like
new
about
one.
yeah.
Because there's
It's like
been
some.
recent new ones, like
Oh, I
Yeah, there
see.
was like an
I
all
don't
girls
watch
one,
movies,
right?
so I don't know.
is it not all girls? It's all trans. All the ghosts are trans.
Dude, I bet you they do like a joke like that where it's like a ghost goes into a woman's body and now she's a man or something. Dude,
Yeah,
check out.
or the ghost is like a kid who killed himself because the parents wouldn't like affirm their gender.
Ooh, yo,
I want to show you
probably.
this.
Or
I wanna
that
show
is
you
that
this.
maybe that's the plot of Suicide Squad.
This is my excellent. I already took a bite
Hey, if you're
But
on
I'm showing
audio,
this
you're missing out.
because
That looks nicely.
I don't even
crisp.
like bread. I don't even like bread, but this bread is so good. Christine made this bread. It's a sourdough, I don't know, white bread loaf. And holy shit.
If y'all
It is
listening
so
don't have a
soft.
wife, if you don't have a wife who makes sourdough bread, are you even living?
No, you're not. Let me tell you. I didn't even know. I didn't even like bread. I didn't know what I was missing out on. But she makes this bread. It's so soft. It's so springy and delicious and fucking I can't get enough of this.
Springy.
It's funny, Jake, that whole thing of like listen to people who have what you want and all that stuff, right? It's like that's why people should listen to us. Like now you have what I have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's the whole
saying?
reason why I listened to you in the first place, because
That's what I'm saying. Right.
I want that. Like, I want a family that's like actually real, Dude,
I want sourdough bread.
Dude, I was talking with so we did our clubhouse yesterday, and one of the guys asked me like, how is it like being a father, right? And I was just telling him, man, it's so much fun. And like fun in the sense of, I see Hazel's face.
Yeah, hold up. Did everyone I don't mean to detract from this because this is a great thing, but Cameron, where did you get that fucking cup? That was the most ornate thing I've ever seen you do in my whole life.
Hold it up again.
Cameron's having a damn tea party over there.
What? It's too bad. I was like, what if I just pulled up a different cup?
You just straight gaslights us.
Normally I have like mugs like sitting around here that I grabbed.
Yeah. Well,
all right. I'll interrupt Drake's story once for this.
Okay. Just that
actually
was
any opportunity.
Effect. Okay, now Drake.
You got the old China. I like it.
Made in England, Thames.
You know you live in a homestead when you drink out of mason jars.
Thames, England.
I don't live on a homestead yet, but
no, Drake, you're manifesting it. I know.
That's it.
I like shit like this, to be honest. It's like eclectic,
Yeah, eclectic.
Also, though, even regardless of the design and stuff, like actually I never really looked at it. It's like a pheasant, some flowers.
It's a peacock.
I thought it was a peacock too. Are you sure that's not a peacock?
Yeah, actually, you're right. It is. I see the eyes on the tail stuff. Where I used to live in Houston, I would go walk in the mornings, and there was literally a flock of peacocks.
There's peacocks here
that would walk around like this like particular neighborhood. And they just like lived there, and you would see them, like a lot of them.
They escaped from the zoo, or is this like a thing?
Like apparently somebody had a bunch of them, and then they like shut down their deal and like let all the peacocks go. And so apparently, but what I like about this is very wide.
Hey, that peacock neighborhood that they were in, was it like an affluent neighborhood?
Yeah, it's like one of the richest neighborhoods.
Yeah, same thing here. Like where I went to school, like same deal. Just peacocks.
Maybe that's what they're trying to say. It's like they're peacocking.
they're inner, outer, internal reflects on the.
You got to check out those peacock interviews on Equaf.
Hey,
this episode sponsored by Equaf.
Hey, shout out Equaf. Hey, okay, so Drake. So now that we've let the suspense build, what's it like being a dad?
What was
no, I was just saying, like, I love being able to see like Hazel's face just light up when she hears my voice or she sees my face. She's just like, right. And it's so cool. And just seeing her grow. And the other thing was, I was talking to somebody and just explaining this to them. And they were like, man, that's so interesting because literally, I asked other people, like, how they enjoy being it's just all complaints. It's so tiring. It's like so bad. Like, I can't wait till they're older or whatever. Like, I'm excited for when she gets older, but like we already can communicate with her on some level, right? So I'm excited for when she has words to communicate, because it's gonna be like I'm like, what is that gonna be like? Like we're already communicating. How much more effective is she going to be at communicating when she's got words, and how much more fun is that going to be? And then, somebody else is saying yesterday, like, oh, that they went out with some friends, and this guy was just saying like, any excuse to get me away from, the baby. Like he just had a newborn, any excuse. And it's like, damn, dude, really? Like, I get it. Like, if you're not
Why'd
walking
you
this
have the
process, it's
kid?
stressful, right?
Like,
But
why'd you make that decision?
but anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, just the whole reason why I uh man, I remember the very first time I went to Cameron's house in Houston, and it was because I wanted to raise my kids in a way that's like, I want to have a family. I never had a family, right? Like it was always just me, my mom, my grandmother, my aunt, no guys. Like I have an uncle, right? That like
It wasn't a nuclear family.
it was not a nuclear
You're
family.
like, I never had a family. All I had was my mom, my grandma, my cousin, my 3 aunts, my two nephews,
Well,
my
I
uncle.
lived
My
I lived
imaginary
with
friends.
I mostly lived with my mom and my grandmother.
But it wasn't
Right?
like your family. Hey, it's sitting down for dinner. It's our family. Just like the dad and the
No,
mom that making
no,
sourdough bread
there was
for
no
you.
dad. There's no dad. There's no dad. No dad. A typical
Missing
black
Dang.
key.
family.
Look at that.
Right?
You wanted a family, so you had to be the dad.
Exactly. I had to become the dad.
Journey to
You know
life
what's
right
You had to
there.
give as you had never received.
what's funny
It's like the ultimate
is like
forgiveness.
the in single parent homes, single mother homes, they always call the boy, like, who's growing up, who's like 6 years old, you're the man of the house. It's like, but there's no example actually of a man in the house. It's just like literally just throwing a kid in, and you're a man now. You like figure out all the responsibilities. Like no.
He's like, okay, I'll play video games.
Yeah. Or like it was always like,
You're
oh,
the
you
man
got
of
to
the
take out the
house. Get on
trash.
TikTok. Yeah,
You got to
the
take out the trash because you're the man of the house.
Taking out
But
the
like,
trash is a whole deal when you live in the country, man. We don't live on a trash. We live on a trash route. So I have to like take all the dumpsters. I have to put all the bags in the back of my truck. I have to take it to the dump. I could. The only option of having a dumpster on the property was like $800 a month.
Oh, nice.
I was like, no,
Wow.
It's
no,
not so bad.
Someone's making bank off
$800 a month
I know.
to have a dumpster. Jake was like, oh, it's not too bad. Whoa, let me sip my coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool too, because I don't know how old Hazel is, what, 4 months, 6 months?
5
12,
on Tuesday.
15
5 on
years old.
Tuesday.
Okay. Nice. So she's
Dang,
practically a
really?
5-year-old, right? Based on how advanced our group is. But yeah, it's so cool too, because now Aristotle, like,
She's the
he's like really clearly saying like yes, no. And he doesn't still always know what no means, because sometimes he'll be excited, he'll just be like, no, 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 no. But you can tell it means like, this is cool. But now it's so cool too. Like every time I'm in the room, or if he can hear me come in the house, just like da 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 da. And it's epic. I mean, I've had to learn too how to deal with just the chaos. Like it's so good for testing your programming, because right now Jess is like pretty chilling. She's in pregnant mode. I don't know if we've announced that fully, but whatever. Sneak peek for podcast people.
That's why it's
And
called the PCast. It's literally just
Why?
pregnancies.
Oh.
It's not.
and Aristotle will just go into the kitchen and open every cupboard. He like knows how to now get around. We put like little rubber bands on stuff to not let him open it, and he just gets in anyway. The other day we have all these like we had a winter party with all this hot chocolate. Jess made this hot chocolate bar, so we have all these like kind of disposable cups or whatever. He literally took the whole stack and undid it one by one over the whole room. And I walked in and I was just like, Wow. In the past, I would like this would spike my stress levels. I just came in, I just laughed, and I just like kind of kicked it aside. And then I was like teaching him because he loves the broom too. For whatever reason, he like swings the broom around. So he's learning how to like push the broom through everything, and it's the coolest thing because you realize Katie actually said this a long time ago. I think this was when we moved into our house right before our wedding, and you guys had come to visit for the wedding. And Katie said that like a dirty kitchen can be perfection. Like we have this image in our mind, but it's not self-honest of like, oh, it has to be everything in its place and the counter is wiped down and everything. But it's like, no, if you're really pushing what you're doing as life, that's perfection. And part of that sometimes is your kitchen looks messy. But like, is the point of your life to have a clean fucking house? Or is the point of your life to change the world and make the external world a reflection of the best it can be? And that's been the coolest thing because now Aristotle gets to be raised in an environment where, like, sure, there's some chaos. Of course, we have like cleaners come once a month, but that's like the coolest thing because he's just learning how to be here and not have to go into his mind of like, oh, is it a mess or is it this or have these arbitrary rules. He's just like expressing himself.
There was this point for Caius where he, because we have these like bar stools, right? Those like by that little countertop area, and he would push them over and then climb up at the kitchen sink and then turn on the water. And then we have that kind of faucet that comes down where you can like pull it out, and spray it. And he would like take it and then start spraying it on the floor, right? We'd have to like run over there, right? And then I noticed this is a while back, and then I noticed like whenever we would be outside, he'd always want to go over to like the hose that's like, that we would have out here by the barn and like spray it and stuff. And then it's like, and I mean, Katie realizes too. I'm not, when I say it's just really talking about us. Like we realized like, oh, he really likes to play with water, like for whatever reason. Like he really, I mean, I'm not saying that's like unique, but um, he really likes to play with water,
He's
right?
a fish.
And like, yeah, and like fill cups up and stuff like that, right? So then what we started doing was we would either offer it to him, or if he would ask, we would let him do it. And we would just let him, we would take the stool over, or he could push it over and sit up at the kitchen sink and just play in the sink with like the dishes and filling up cups. And he'll do it for 30 minutes. And at a certain point, he'll start pouring it on the ground, which is kind of his way of saying he's done. And we would keep explaining to him, like, hey, you don't have to do that. You could just tell us. And now he's done it a lot less. He'll still do it every once in a while, but he like, well, I've seen him, like he'll just stop and he'll be done. And then so recently Katie got him these toys. They're these little like rubberized uh it looks kind of like a chemistry set, sort of. It's like a little ball with like a little what's the word I'm looking for, a valve, I suppose, at the bottom where water can come out, and then like the top looks kind of like, it was like a rim, kind of like a chemistry, looks like a chemistry beaker thing. Anyways, and there's a bunch of them, and you can connect them with this rubber tubing, so you can like pour it into one, and then it goes and everything, right?
That's cool.
And so there's a few of them that like those little container type ones that you can like suction to the side of the tile or whatever, the bathtub. And he likes to just like put them on there and then like fill them up, and he'll just sit there, like that's his bath time, is just filling things up and like pouring them, and like that's what he does. Whereas like Max and Seneca would like to like play with their toys or whatever. He likes, Max's favorite thing to do when he was little would be to take the soap, like what if we do bubble baths, or he would make his own bubble bath and he would smear it all over the tile, like, by the bathtub, and then watch it and then say he was watching TV. And he would say it was a TV show. And he'd be like, look, it's a TV show. And we don't even watch TV. That's what's so funny about it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
He'd
yeah.
like say he's like making his own TV show, right? So anyways, like I kind of was bringing that up of like, it seems like a thing where it's like, oh, he's always getting up in the sink and making a mess. And it's like you realize like, no, he's actually playing and discovering things and enjoying himself. And so like you can like work with it instead of like resisting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you level up so much as a parent, like in so many ways. One is your worldview like shifts and expands, and so you get to challenge all these programs you didn't even know were in there that were holding you back, like perfectionism or whatever, or for other people it's going to be different points, but you get to one see all that, but then two is like what it does to you in terms of business and to, like creativity with making money and like putting pieces together and like taking responsibility. That's been the other thing that's been so cool because it clicked with me even around the time when Jess said that she was pregnant with Aristotle right away. It was like I'm looking at our clubhouse locally. I'm looking at our uh the techno tutor business and who's around and the events, we do and all that. And I'm like, this is where he's going to grow up. Like, this is his environment. And am I going to be the kind of guy by the time he's 18 or 10 or whatever, like, oh, I wish I grew it more? Or is it like, no, that starts right now? And that helped me make way more money. It helped us grow our clubhouse. It helped us put other people together. So now you have like all these relationships forming around us. And now there's going to be new kids in his environment. So it's like, if you want to make more money, be more successful, all of this is like, this is a new way of looking at things that I never had. It's never been done before. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool you sharing that, Cam. I'm gonna share something with you that Mitch and I have been talking about, but we haven't shared it with you yet. We actually just want to share this with the people on the podcast who listen to the podcast, right? But I'm gonna use you because I know we haven't talked to you about it yet, and so it's nice when you have somebody who's like a new audience, But
are we doing our pronouns now or something, or what's going on here?
yeah, we are. So
Beyond pronouns.
What do you select as your pronouns?
I have a list
These
of
are-
30 pronouns.
Oh, 30. Oh,
I studied Latin, so it's for every particular like grammatical case. Because like, okay, for example, like they say like he, him, right?
yeah.
That's presuming I want to use him for both the direct object and indirect object usage, right? Like they threw him the ball, or they threw the ball, to him, or, I gave him something versus like I hit him. I don't want to use the same pronoun for every case.
Okay.
Right? Like if it's possessive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What about, how do you know what to do in that case? It's him's.
His.
That's an assumption. I never told you directly what pronoun to use there.
Wow.
You see the problem? Like,
Yeah.
they want to
Yeah,
police
no.
our grammar, but they don't want to be specific with the grammar. And I want to move that ball forward.
This is a really good point there. Because it's usually like Z's.
I have 8 principles of this particular theory that I want to share with you guys. Okay, now
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm just messing with you.
Let's hear it. No. It's more so just it's a vision, right? It's an image that we want everybody to have in their minds, right? And it's really just kind of off that crux. Like, you ever see, man,
Suicide Squad?
You ever see Suicide Squad? No. Okay. But the trailer of a movie, right? Or you're
speaking my language.
I don't watch movies. I just watch trailers.
That's literally what
That's actually kind of funny.
Like.
I bet some people do that. Is that y'all do?
That's
just
literally
watch trailer.
What we do. Yeah.
But
I just go outside and stare at my trailer.
I just put bubbles on the wall. Way more wholesome.
What's funny? What's funny about that is like when we were there for the event, you guys had this water cooler outside for everybody, and Caius just wanted to pour water into a cup and then dump it all over the ground, right? And I was like, "Hey, Caius, why don't we just go over to, like, there's a hose over here, and we can play with that, right?" And so we go over there, and next to the hose is like this like little trough, I don't know, maybe 15 gallons. About 15 gallons for like animals to drink.
Yeah, it's like a short one. Yeah.
Yes, a shallow one. Yeah.
Yeah, shallow.
And
yeah.
so we get there. He takes the hose. He immediately starts filling that thing up, right? And then he's like, I see him trying to climb in. I'm like, all right, hang on. Let me take your.
Was this before or after Aristotle tried to swim in it?
This is after.
Because I think I emptied it out.
Yeah. So then I'm like, okay, let's take your pants off so you don't get those. Let's take your shirt off. And then he's in there with a cup. Swimming. Yeah, and he's just like pouring things out, putting things in. He was having a great time. And then he's like looking at me like, hey, too shallow. Those aren't the exact words that he used, but that's what he was saying, right? And so I filled it up more for him. He's like, yeah, good, good. I think we were there for at least 30 minutes, just me and him, just playing. I sent a video to
Yeah.
Christine. She's like, that looks like you're having fun. But this vision is different.
For context, Christine wasn't there because she was busy with the baby at home.
Yes.
That's dedication. What do most parents do? Just take the baby anyways, or get babysitters.
They just focus on their own happiness first. And actually, Christine she sent me a post on Instagram that said, in today's world, women's mental health is being pitted against the nurturing of their baby, right? And it gave examples, some really good examples of like, you're told, oh, you need some time alone, you need a break, put your kid in daycare. You need like breastfeeding is hard, feed them formula. You just I don't even remember some of the other ones, but they were all like on that. You have a career, don't you want to live your life? Put them in school, put them in daycare, like basically just like, don't be at home, don't be around your child. You need to sleep too, sleep train them. Like like where you're literally having your baby cry it out and they're like, what the fuck is going on? And you're like, oh, but I need to sleep. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'll just gonna let you cry until you figure out I'm not fucking coming. Like, what? That is insane. And it's funny because I mentioned that, and my mom said, yeah, when she had me, she was still pretty young, 22, right? Which I guess is not really that young, but in today's world it is, right?
My mom was 16.
You see, that's young. Yeah.
Beat that.
No thanks. But my great grandmother told my mom, leave the baby with your mother, my grandmother, and go live your life. That's what my great grandmother told my mom. And I was like, wow. Clearly the way my great grandmother saw it was because she had children, I guess at a young age, I don't know. She felt like that ruined her life. Like that was the end of it. Right?
Where did your great grandmother live?
She grew up in the Dominican Republic.
So
yeah,
let's just put things into perspective.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely had a rough upbringing. I know my grandmother had a very rough upbringing. And that just makes for.
That's so funny because it's like, live your life. Okay, do what?
Right. Go pursue.
Here's something that I see all the time, though. The reason why people say that, live your life, is because they didn't get the nurturing and support that they needed as a child. And now they're looking for when can I have happiness? When can I enjoy life? And then they inadvertently do the same fucking thing to their kids because they're trying to.
Everybody was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna go live my life. What if the gas station attendant said, I'm gonna go live my life? What if the school teacher said, I'm gonna go live my life? What if the president of the country said, I'm gonna go live my life? Or the guy who fixes the electrical poles said, I'm gonna go live my life? What if everybody did that?
That'd be fun.
Right? Could they do that?
No.
Why not?
Because everything would fall apart.
Well, what would they do?
They wouldn't have much to do. Like the gas station.
We'd all have to go, okay, I'm going to live my life. And they'd be like, well, but I don't have any money. No one's making any food. Okay, so someone needs to do that for money. And then it's
someone needs to be the bartender for me to go have fun. It's like, that's what.
So it's such a limited context of reality of like, you go live your life. And it's like,
right.
That's such a luxury, actually.
Okay. All right. And here is, I'm
hold on, wait. Hold on, before you go.
Blue ball.
There's one thing I want to say because I know I'm not going to say it later. It's not a big thing, but it's relevant to this point. I was just thinking of this earlier. Okay. Right. You'll like it.
All right.
Because I was looking at, for example, because I'm trying to get people to understand like the difference between raising your own kids, doing all that versus like putting them in daycare, putting them in school, what seems like normal.
I thought you were going to say raising somebody else's kids.
Well, that point how you were saying like, why do these guys like, I can't wait to get away from my kid? It's because like they don't like their kid. They don't, you know what I mean? I understand the point of like guys don't want to be around crying babies all day. obviously, like no one does. And I don't think
Yeah.
you're even saying like, oh, I just like to sit there and watch the baby cry all day. Like, no, it's a very, especially for a guy, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's difficult for women too, but it's like, you're just like, no. But just in the general point, right? Like you only want to be with your kids on a holiday or something. And even then, most people, they don't relate to their kids, right? But it's like you spent your whole life buying IKEA furniture, right? And putting together IKEA furniture.
Dude.
And then Mitch has got to go fix something. Okay, no problem. You spend your whole life putting together IKEA furniture, and then it's like, and you're like, yeah, I know how to build furniture. I know how to like put things together. You know what I mean?
Right,
And then the
right,
moment like you are in a situation where there's like a screwdriver and a hammer and nails and a saw and all these different tools, and you're like, I don't know what to do here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so it's kind of like that in the sense of you didn't really do everything with that kid. It's like you just put him into a school, you put him into daycare, you took him to the doctor, you took him to the dentist. I mean, I'm not saying those are all bad, like having a dentist per se, because like there's times where that makes sense,
Yeah.
but it's like you just do what they say,
yeah.
and like, dude, it's so interesting because like our dentists, they're not like hippie, like way out there, but we're very specific with them, and they're not even like biological dentists. They're just normal dentists, but they're like cool.
Okay.
And like, so for example, when you go there, they're like, yeah, fluoride's actually not good. Like they say that, like, they're not like,
Oh,
what?
that's cool.
Like there's one dentist we were referred to for a specific thing, and he was all on board with everything, but it was just like, he was a very specific point that we used that one for, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
recommended
Yeah.
from the other one. But like, and I mean, I remember asking him like, what toothpaste do you actually recommend? And they're like, oh, you want, and he showed me like what they use, right? And there was ones with like silver, nanohydroxyapatite is like a new
Yeah.
thing, right? And it's funny because I was like, oh, I've been using that for years myself.
Right.
Because
Right. Right.
I had problems with my teeth where it was like always like hurting with sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
never went to after a certain period, I just never went to the dentist again. I went like for a cleaning maybe, right? But like, but I started using that nanohydroxyapatite toothpaste.
Yeah.
It's like some stuff from Japan, the specific one I get.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And all of that went away.
We have the same. We have the same one.
The Premio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, dude, like it's crazy actually. Because I used to have like my teeth would hurt, right? But Katie got that stuff for me. And then, anyways, when we went to the dentist for the kids, they were like, yeah, you could get, because I said, oh, I use this stuff that has that in it. He's like, oh, that's great. There's like all this research now. He's like, it's the only fluoride alternative that has a lot of research that backs it. Anyways, that was a long sidebar, but the point was, you could still have experts. Do you know what I mean? You could still have things you go to, but what most people do is they show up and it's like, you're the expert. Here you go. Like, perfect example of this is whenever you go to parent teacher conference night. Do you know what I mean? It's like you show up and it's like, how's my kid doing? And like all this stuff. And like, you're like, basically bowing down to the teacher. Right.
Right.
And if you actually didn't know that person was a teacher and you just hung out with them on the weekend, would you let them direct any other part of your life?
No way. No fucking way. I know so many teachers, young teachers too, that I'm like, no fucking way. Like, you shouldn't even be around children, man. Like, at all. Like,
so
anyway.
Yeah, so it's like you're basically putting your kid into all these systems, and it's essentially like IKEA furniture. It looks like it's functioning, isn't it? It looks good. I mean, to a certain degree, it looks pretty good, right? But it always falls apart later. It always, I mean, there may be that one piece that still works, but it's like it really is just a piece of junk, actually, right?
The way I was looking at it is like, because Christine makes pretty much everything now, right? So she's been making like sourdough loaves and then like white bread sourdough from scratch. She made her own brioche the other day. That was like to make French toast, because we like to go and use brioche for French toast because it's thicker, it's fluffier, it's like, it's got this really nice texture. She made her own brioche to make French toast. Never done that before. She makes the buns for like the hamburgers and whatever, dinner rolls, all that stuff, right? And it's all like, I'm so impressed by it. Like, she makes these muffins, like these She just made these blueberry lemon muffins that are so good, so good. She makes these carrot cake muffins. She makes everything, and it's from scratch using the materials in our own home that we've gone through all the ingredients of it's flour. It's flour. It's not like enriched flour with niacin and riboflavin and all this bullshit and preservatives and blah blah blah. It's not the stuff that you're buying in the store. Do you know how easy it is and convenient to go buy something at the store? Where it's just
but now when I go to the store and I look at all that stuff, like all those pre-made cakes and stuff, I'm like,
it's gross.
I ain't eating that. I know.
It's
doesn't even
gross.
taste
It's
good.
like it's filled with all these chemicals.
You look at the back
right?
and you're like, what the fuck? That's not a cake.
Right. It's not even a cake. It's just like it's been designed to taste like a cake, but it's a fucking chemistry project, dude, that they fucking did.
There's that book by Baudrillard called Simulacra and Simulation.
Yeah,
right? It's like literally a simulacra.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like one, but it's not. But actually, it's replaced the whole idea of it. It's even people look at a real cake. It's like that's the point with raw milk. Where people go, you drink raw milk, and I'm like, you actually think the simulacra is the real thing?
Yes.
You actually, it's love is another example. You actually think that the symbol is more important than the real thing now, whereas like the real thing suddenly becomes like it's like breast milk, same thing. It's like you give your kid formula is the standard. It's like
when there's formula,
that's the fake thing.
Formula.
People say like you drink raw milk. I'm like, you cook your milk before you drink it. Also, what's so interesting is allegedly, I say allegedly, right? So Carl Schwab doesn't come over and swap my house or something, right? But like, it's so interesting because they factory farm all these eggs and then they're covered in shit and stuff. So they have to wash it and they have to refrigerate it so that you can put it in a store. Because otherwise, and then they make it so that the regulations are you can't sell eggs that are not washed. Right. But then we go buy some because like our chickens weren't laying for a while. So we went and bought a bunch of eggs at this other farm and they have to, by regulation, wash all the eggs. Right. So then we have to put them in the fridge.
Yeah.
So if we buy 40 eggs, like how do you going to, you know what I mean? Or 40 dozen rather. Right.
40 dozen. And
then, but real eggs that come out of a chicken, you don't have to wash them.
Right.
That you can just set them on the counter and they'll just sit there and then you can wash them and you can always test them to see if they're still good or not. Right. But it's funny because the whole industrial process makes them actually less safe.
Yeah.
If that allegedly.
Yeah. And what people don't realize is when you are eating the real thing, just how much that expands your whole life. Like when I eat a good meal that Jess has made me with like real bread or we're eating eggs from our chickens, it's like your ability to go do things in the world as a man increases. It's just a whole nother level's unlocked.
Well, we've been talking a lot about organ meat lately because I know you guys know about that stuff, right? And like,
oh yeah,
and like Katie's been looking more into that, and we've been eating more like liver and stuff lately, And she was just looking at the point of how like we used to give the kids vitamins and stuff. I mean, we still make sure they have all their vitamins and stuff, but we do it through other than just taking like the chewable gummies that or whatever that has vitamins, but it's all fucking synthetic, not bioavailable or anything, right? And it's interesting because it's like again, that's another example of like the IKEA approach where it's like you think you're getting it's all done for you. You just pop it in rather than having to look at like what am I eating tonight. And she was making this point of like, in some cases you might have to use a synthetic vitamin to like supplement because you're really deficient or something. But that's the context for that, not as like a daily point. Like you're constantly supplementing as a daily point because you're not getting proper nutrients. Yeah. So what's that? So what are you eating then?
Yeah.
If what you're eating isn't giving you nutrients, what the fuck are you eating? It's like, oh, I'm going to eat and then I have to add nutrients later. What was the point of the eating?
Right.
What were you doing? Like, oh, I was so we're getting used to like eating all this cardboard and then supplementing with minerals and vitamins that don't even actually work for us anyways. Yeah. And like, what are we doing? And our whole lives are just these fucking cardboard bullshit IKEA like lives. And then we wonder why we're as a society and civilization, like experiencing unprecedented levels of unhappiness and disruption and, like confusion and mental issues and everything, you know.
So I'm gonna switch gears just a little bit because
Okay.
but it's kind of on the same line, but just a different point. You'd sent us a video of basically Tucker and Alex Jones talking, right?
Real
And
quick,
yeah,
that painting behind you,
yeah.
what of that is actually on the painting? I just need to ask real quick
I
because
think it's like some hyper realism. It looks like
I'm
a
looking at
painting
it
with a
like,
bobblehead
yeah,
on
all is that all a painting or is some of it a painting?
It's all a painting.
Is that just a window?
it. Trump lives in Florida too. I think Trump's outside.
Yeah, is Trump actually literally coming over to your house right now?
He's right. I'm having him wait outside till I'm done with the podcast. Yeah, but you sent that video and
Which one?
the Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson one, right? But I'm just
The
making the point
the
of
one
like,
where they were talking about both of them,
yeah,
the aliens and stuff.
yeah, right.
Okay.
But it's that part's not so relevant.
Sure,
It's more so
okay.
just like, Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and Patrick Bet David, and even just this recent interview with Cat Williams. I don't know.
By the way, the other night, 2 nights ago,
Yeah.
Max, we're getting ready for bed and everything, and the kids have electric blankets that we use because it's like really cold right now, right?
Oh, okay.
Because they like them, and because it's like real warm when you get in there, so you don't get into a cold bed. Anyways, Max, he's like, I was like, do you want me to tuck you in? Basically, put all the covers on him, right? He goes, yeah. Can you Tucker Carlson me into bed?
That's cute.
That's so funny.
I was like, that was good, man. It's just like so random that he like, what 7-year-old is gonna make that joke,
right? And he doesn't even watch Tucker Carlson.
It's well, you know what? The first time he saw Tucker Carlson, we were staying at a hotel. This is when we came to visit this property, and we went into the hotel, and the reception there was Fox News playing, and Tucker Carlson was on Fox News.
Okay.
And Max was looking at the TV, and I was like, "Do you know what that is?" And I was like, "That's a man named Tucker Carlson. And he talks about things that are happening in the world." I was explaining to him the context of what he was seeing, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Anyways,
the point though is just like, these guys always talk about, or have been lately really talking about, things that are happening. Like we talked about this on a previous podcast, but like how, Alex Jones had called out 9/11 months before it even happened, right? Or how,
you know what he should have done? He's like on his little podcast talking about it. He should have just literally called 911. Like, guys,
hello,
I need to report a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but like in that Jimmy Dore thing where Alex Jones is on there, I swear, maybe it was just my mind, but I swear I heard this point where Alex Jones said, and I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists here, but
yeah.
I don't know if he said that. That's hilarious. But
he's like, I'm not one who's like into conspiracy theories or anything, but
did you see the Cat Williams thing? I sent it to you, right?
I watched a bit of it. Yeah, I liked it. I it's funny because I like Cat Williams. Like I've kind of watched some of his things over the years.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was kind of one of those guys who's like kind of like Prince or somebody where they're a little bit outside of the normal thing, even though they're popular. That didn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
Like he was friends with Prince. He was friends with
they kind of had to make their own way very, without a lot of support because they're willing to talk, and say
he's also friends with I forgot the guy's name. The guy who runs the Islam Nation.
Farrakhan.
There it is. Yeah. He's also friends with him as well. And okay, there are just a few points about this guy that I wanted to bring up that were just pretty mind-blowing. He said he read between the ages of 8 and 12, he would read about 3,000 books a year. And I'm like, that is a lot of fucking books.
Cat Williams.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Have you heard of Cat Williams?
Of course.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought he was like talking to someone else.
You live out in the country. I don't know.
I've lived in the country for 3 years.
Mitch used to live in freaking Colombia, okay?
Mitch used to live in
He's a traveled man.
Brazil.
Oh, Brazil, sorry. I forgot.
He also lived in Colombia too.
You did? I thought, okay.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right.
He's lived in Brazil and Colombia. You think he doesn't know who Cat Williams is?
What does that have to do with anything? What's that have to do with the price of eggs in France? So anyway, Cat Williams though said he read 3,000 books a year during that time period, and he also said that he moved out of his house when he was 13 years old from Ohio to Florida by himself because he had some altercation with his father or whatever. And he's like, you know what? I'm out of here. And he literally hitchhiked with a semi-truck driver down to Florida. And then he just got out and he was like, I'm going to make a living here somehow. And he was homeless, he said, because it was funny because the interviewer was
Hard
like,
to get
so
a mortgage when you're 13.
Exactly. The interviewer was like, so then where'd you live? He's like, I was homeless. Of course. I was 13 years old. I just moved to a new state by myself. And like, I lived in a park and I went to the library during the day, and like, you can't get a mortgage. You can't get rent. You can't like, who are you going to like convince to let you live in their home? Like, that's what I had to do. But he said what you would do.
Should have called Michael Jackson.
He could have. I think he was a little.
Could have started that relationship sooner.
Oh man. But he said he basically said that because the interviewer asked him, like, you weren't scared, like look like what made you believe that you could go out and live on your own at 13 years old? And he said, well, my family was Jehovah's Witness, so I read like that Jesus was out living on his own at 13 years old. He's out doing his own thing at 13. So I was like, well, I'm going to be like Jesus, like if he could make it, I can make it. And then the interviewer was like, wow, look at you, fearless. You weren't even scared. He's like, hold on. No, I had fear. Everyone has fear. I was just not going to let that fear stop me. I just did it anyway. Right. And then he says all these other like cool points as far as like business building, but most people are attracted to it because he's doing a lot of like gossip as well, of just like talking shit about everybody else, but he's actually talking the truth about.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was gossiping as much as like saying like, hey, these guys said all these things publicly.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if it was like behind.
Well, it was drama is what I meant to say. It was drama for a lot of people,
Well, but there's a context. Like, he was talking to people who are mainstream, and he's trying to explain that these people shape people's perceptions. That's their job. And they lie and they misrepresent things. And then like you're listening to these people and you're not questioning them. And so like, here's all the bullshit that they said, and I'm going to tell you the truth about it. And like, obviously it's his side of the story, but I thought it was cool. It's like, it's kind of like this, well, I'm never going to gossip, so I'm never going to talk about it. It's like, you talk shit about me and then I find out and that influenced somebody. Guess what? I'm going to tell them actually what happened. And I don't care if you think it's gossip, but that's different than just like what gossiping is like doing, you're talking shit, which is in most cases not even true or exaggerated in order to, and it's really just your judgments that you're broadcasting, and you're doing it for energy, and you're doing it to gain power over others. Okay, in some way. So I'm just being clear about that. Like, I know what you mean when you say that, but like, I didn't really see it that, and he even had to explain himself a little bit because the guy kept, but it's like, I mean, it makes sense, like imagine like this guy, like any of the guys he was talking about could go on anything and say anything they want.
Right. But
if he says something, then suddenly he's gossiping because he doesn't have that platform. Right. So anyways.
Yeah, no, it's true. And what I was sharing like at my clubhouse yesterday is like, okay, people are attracted to, and this is the point I was trying to get to, is people are attracted to the truth. Like they need that right now because we've gone through like, okay, in the past, you could get away with lying for a long time. I just saw this old interview with Stephen Hawking, right? And Stephen Hawking was being interviewed. This was after he, was like in his chair or whatever, but before he got his computer that could talk for him, he had a translator. And you're literally looking at Stephen Hawking and he's like, and then his translator's standing right next to him. He's like, he says that when he was a young child, and he's like just goes on for like 5 minutes off of this, like you're watching it, you're like, there's no fucking way. There's
That's
no
what the kids would
fucking
say
way.
is a little sus.
It was hilarious.
You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
The kids love this one video. This guy named Josh Too Funny. He's like this African comedian.
Okay.
And he does this video where he's like the fastest reader in the world.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I saw them doing that.
Like,
I saw them doing that. Yes, yeah.
And the guy's
Yeah.
like, what did you just read?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I read the book. It's too fast, you know. And the guy's like, he has a copy of it. He's like, what does it say on page 1? The guy's like, let me. And he's like, no, don't you touch that book. He's like, I bite your ear.
So I didn't realize he was a comedian. I thought it was like an Africa's Got Talent type thing.
That's how it's set up. It looks like it's real.
Yes.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Because I only saw a clip of it and I saw him do that and I thought that was hilarious.
That's why you saw that video I posted of the kids like being the fastest readers. That's why they were doing that.
Okay, all right. That makes sense. So okay. The point being that in the past you could get away with shit like that. But have you noticed in the last 20 years
they would have AI on there being
so
like
much.
analyzing what he's saying. He's probably like, please someone kill me, please someone kill me. I'm also deaf. I can't hear what this translator is saying, so I can't tell you if it's accurate, but please someone kill me.
Yeah, right.
Actually, hey, did you guys hear this stuff about him?
Epstein?
Yeah,
I
he was
saw
on
a picture. I don't know
I saw
if it
a
was
picture. I saw a picture.
who knows
Picture of what?
him
Of
in some
Stephen
beach
Hawking.
chair with some women
With Epstein.
with swimsuits.
But are they
was on it.
underage or is it just women?
No, it's just women. There's no underage in the picture, but it's like him
I
next
keep
to
hearing
Epstein.
all this. It's underage stuff, and I'm not saying it wasn't. There is weird shit going on at that island, but like,
But
why
okay,
isn't
all right,
there
all right.
obvious?
In his defense,
In his offense, he can't move.
he can't move.
They're
What the
just
fuck?
like, go stand over by Stephen Hawking. Haha, gotcha.
Yo, that's
go
great.
go molest Stephen Hawking. That's what would happen. Anyway, I don't think he's doing much fondling. Although he left his wife after he became like, stuck to his chair.
Guys, I think this is one of the cases where the wife had to have left him. I don't see how.
Apparently he left her.
What,
That's the
he
story.
rolled away in his little chair at 1 mile an hour, and she was like, "No, don't go."
But okay, all right, Cam. All right, listen now. You have to listen. I'll give you opportunities to jump in, but you gotta listen. All right.
He has host privileges. He can.
It's gonna be hard for me.
I'm gonna mute you. I will.
Cameron,
fucking
you
mute
can you can react with emojis. You know how Zoom has that now.
But all right, because the world has changed a lot, and I think everybody listening to this will see that. Have you noticed the world has changed way more in the last 20 years than in the previous 2000? Right? I don't know what was going on in the previous 2000, but we only had like a few stones with some words on them, some like, little
Printing
scrolls and
press.
shit, but now we're seeing how rapidly technology is changing, with AI, like you're saying, with robots, with humanoid robots, right? Someone was just saying that they work at a warehouse and the robots there, like their parents were like, oh, the robots there already look human and they're already doing a lot of human tasks, right? And
They're like, no, that's just Tony. He's a new hire.
Hold on.
That's just this transhuman thing. Yeah,
Because Cam, you're on, like, I know you see all the stuff with the technology coming, right?
some of it, yeah.
A lot of it,
Yeah.
right? A lot more than most people is what I mean to say, right? It's like, are people even aware of all the shit that's going to happen just even this year?
Not at all.
Yeah,
5%
no.
5 to 10% of it.
And so the point is, like, right now we are on the precipice. We are on, like, it's like, Columbus, or who's the other guy? Leif Erikson? Is that his name? Is that?
It was, I think, the original.
Okay. All right. Imagine you're like on one of those ships, right? And you're like heading over to the Americas, and like there's just like, you can see there's land there, but it's like,
Is it called that on their map? They're like the Americas. They're like,
you're just sailing west, just fucking sailing west, and there's land now all of a sudden, but it's all like shrouded in like fog, right? It's like you can't even see it, right? And the point that I'm making with that is like we're on a new frontier. We're on a new frontier. We come to the new land, or we're in the Americas, and we're saying, hey, now it is time to expand westward. We have this new frontier, right? And that frontier needs to be developed, and not just developed, which I would suggest if you have Technotutor to put that into your Technotutor, that word develop, right? But it's not just developed, but also, you guys remember this phrase from fuck the phrase from
What is the phrase?
It's from our history books, right? I'll get there in just a second.
Okay.
Because hang on. Because I'm saying it's a new frontier, but I haven't made it really clear what it is, right? It's like, because if you listen to Elon Musk, he'll tell you, oh, the new frontier is going to Mars. It's space. The final frontier, like, or if you listen to Mark Zuckerberg, he's like, the new frontier is fucking the metaverse. That's it. We're all going to go into the metaverse. Or Sam Altman, the new frontier is AI. No, like those technologies can be used. Yeah. But the new frontier is happening in our minds and in the physical. It has to be a physical change, and it has to happen within our minds as well, because what's not working is we're seeing that there's a collapse of this current system, right? And if we continue going by this current system, we're screwed moving into this new lands, this new frontier, right? And the new frontier, here's the phrase. You ready? You guys remember this? We have to manifest this new frontier. The phrase is manifest destiny, right? And what does manifest mean? Do you know what manifest means, Kim? Do you know
in this context?
No, do you know what most people would say manifest means?
Depending on the context, like just for it to like magically happen.
For it to magically happen.
Yeah,
that's what most people are like, manifest. I'm gonna make it like appear. It's just gonna manifest.
Right. I'm manifesting it. Yeah.
But if you look at the definition of manifest, it actually means to make clear, right? To make clear, to make real, right? But to make clear specifically,
like when something is manifest, that means
it's clear. Yeah. It's like manifest, like the etymology of it is hand, mani, right? Hand, and festus, which is to catch, right? So like caught with the hand. Like
and manifest is one of the definitions of the word education.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. To make it clear, right? Okay. All right. Now check this out. When we learned about manifest destiny in history, what was the context that you're given, if you even remember it?
What I remember from that, it was like we have to expand westward because it's like our duty or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So destiny, right? Destiny is the definitions of destiny is so fun, right? They're so cool because destiny is like, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And also it's also this idea of it's been not prescribed. What's the word I'm looking for? But basically like we've been given this.
Yeah.
This like
isn't it interesting they taught us this term manifest destiny and never really explained it. It was just like, oh yeah, it's like how most parents explained it to stuff to their kids. Were like, yeah, it's like that. Instead of like, let me really clarify what this is. They didn't even manifest the words.
Right. Yeah. Right. They didn't make clear the words at all. Like I had no idea what the word manifest meant for many years. I thought it was this like magic. Manifest just means magic.
I'm assuming it's probably they meant like it's your manifest destiny. It's like it's an obvious, clear point that you have to do. So it's like not a choice that we move that way.
Yes,
you have to do it.
It's your God-given.
We have no choice. It's like your house is on fire. You have to leave the house, and you have to put it out. But you have to move out of this room. It's filled with smoke.
Exactly. Okay, so it's inevitable. You have no choice. It's your God-given is the way that they would describe it then, of like right almost, that we are going to do this, right? To expand westward. And they used it as a phrase back then as like, just
Nobody
sort
probably wanted to fucking do that.
Right.
You think they were like, yeah, let's just, I mean, you played Oregon Trail.
exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly, right? You're
Little
like,
Timmy has typhus. You're like,
you died of dysentery, right? Your horse just fucking drowned. Like, yeah, exactly. And so, okay, expanding westward. And okay, but check this out. What is the destiny that we're manifesting? What is that destiny that we're manifesting? It's not DESTINY. It's DESTENI, right? Manifest destiny, meaning the core tenet of that, the core principle behind that is creating a world that is best for all. And let me get really specific. Can you imagine how the world would be if everything was just right in your eyes? Like just for whoever's listening, right? Imagine how the world should be if it was just right in your eyes. And just ask yourself the question of, does it look like the current world now? And if your answer is no, good job. You have eyes, you have a brain, right? But also that means it has to be developed. It's not just going to magically appear.
Do you know that interesting point about developing?
Tell me.
I'll just throw this in real quick.
Go ahead.
Because, like playing chess, right?
Yeah.
One of the principles you learn when you're beginning is like the idea of developing your pieces, like your knights and your bishops and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't play, it just means like getting them moved out first, like in front of your pawns and so forth, right? In whatever ways you're deciding to do it. But because I know both of you have played chess or have played, right? It's like, do you notice what happens when you're deep in a game and you didn't develop your pieces?
Oh, you're screwed.
You're like going like, oh fuck, now I can't get my rook out because like my knight's still there. Like you realize the consequence later that you're in a very tight position and it's very difficult to do anything, and someone can just walk all over you. So it's like there's so many points of like that word development. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if you didn't develop this, like with Max, for example, supporting him to learn how to sleep in his own bed. Where like this is a point of your development so that you'll be able to do more. Like if you want to stay up all night reading books, like freaking Cat Williams style, like he does, the other night he didn't even sleep. I'm not joking. He literally did not sleep. And he comes in there at 4 a.m. and wakes me up and he's like, hey, you want to get up now and like hang out? And I was like, what's going on? Like, did you just wake up? He's like, no, I didn't sleep. I'm like, what were you doing? He's like, I was reading. And like when he goes to bed at night, he's got books all in his bed. Like he'll have the 10 books in his bed. And I'm like, and he calls it his library. He's like, do you know anyone else who sleeps with a library in their bed? Did you sleep with a library in your bed when you were a kid, right? And like he got sleep last night. It was interesting. He didn't even seem tired yesterday. It's crazy, right? But so, and then we got up early in the morning, and you know what we did? We studied a chess opening course together for like an hour. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
So, anyways, I don't remember the point I was going with that.
No, basically the development point, right?
Okay.
And that's really key to what we're talking about.
Right? You're going to see that it helps you later, and if you don't, it's going to be a problem later.
And so, just to make it super clear what we're talking about, this new frontier, the manifest destiny, is creating a world that is best for all. And just really simply, let's start with end child slavery, end child abuse, end poverty, right? And let's just start there. We can create that together. That is our destiny.
Starting there, as in, we can all obviously agree, child slavery is fucked up. Abuse is fucked up. Poverty is fucked up. And there's really no reason we need to let it continue.
And we can end those things. And by start there, it's like from there we can go on. We can go further. We can make the world as beautiful as possible. But let's start here. This is our starting point of this.
If that isn't the starting point, we'll always have it. And exactly. So everyone thinks that the starting point of life is just to go live your life. But for somebody else, that equals opening up a cobalt mine. And hey, the only people that are there to work in that is the kids. So I'll enslave these kids to work in the cobalt mine.
Right.
And then now you have an iPhone, so you can live your life on Instagram.
Right.
Right. And
So
then
your starting point wasn't
your
let's end
iPhone
that and then let's end those things and then add the iPhones.
Right. Right. And so, okay, here's the alternative. Here's what happens if we don't do that, right? Because if you're looking at what's going on in the world and you don't like it, right now we are in a position where there's so much tremendous change going on. You can literally be like, it can be like the Great Depression. What do we always hear about the Great Depression? Oh, everybody was like, poor and suffering and like all that, whatever, right? But what we don't often hear, which is true, is it was one of the greatest transitions of wealth, right? One of the biggest transitions of wealth, meaning people struck it rich during that time. There was so much change going on during that time. People struck it rich. We are in a time period like that, where, when the iPhone came out, people struck it rich by making apps for the iPhone. They made a few apps and they got rich. When Amazon came out and you could put your own store on Amazon, the people who got on first struck it fucking rich, right? When Facebook came out and you could start putting ads out on Facebook, the people who got on first, and then they started like, oh, okay, well, now you can't do that anymore. I know you could do that in the past and that would make you a ton of money. We're not allowing you to do that anymore. You can't do that anymore. You can't. So there's a time period here. There's a time period here, right? And I'm saying that because you're either going to be a part of this new frontier, this manifest destiny, where you actually can live the life that you want. You can actually take advantage and make a lot of money and help a lot of people, make a huge impact in their lives. Or you can be continuing to live in confusion and under the fog, under the veil, right? I was saying manifest because we're lifting up that veil so you can see clearly what's going on here, so you can actually take advantage of it, right? Because otherwise, you're going to be like, just like everybody else is like, what's going on? Huh? Oh, get
we eating crickets now? Okay.
We're eating crickets. Okay, crickets. Yeah, crickets sound good.
Are they gluten free?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brawn. It's good for the water. Electrolytes.
Yeah, electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
it's what plants crave. Yeah. Like that's gonna be you. You're gonna be that fucking idiot that has no idea what's going on and suffering, and maybe
dude, that scene is like so perfect where it's like that's what it's like. What do you mean you drink water? You don't drink Gatorade? That's literally like the raw milk, the breast milk, all that. Right. It's like, yes. What? You don't drink formula? It's like what babies crave. It's like,
yeah, exactly. So, okay. Now, it's funny because, just looking at all these points, the only way you're going to be able to succeed in this changing world is you have to realize a few things. And the very first thing that you have to realize is that the education system is flawed. And I know everybody listening to this, like you already realize that, but just making it really clear, you have to first realize that, because literally there are millions of children right now who are still in the education system. They're still in public or private. It doesn't matter. They're still going to school, and the education system, the way that it's built, and I'm just going to say this bluntly, the way that it's built is literally to create slaves. That is the history of the education system. Go look up how the education system in America got started. John D. Rockefeller, right? And what did he actually say? I don't want to create a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. He was trying to look for workers for his factories. And hang on. What you learn when you go through the education system is how to work for somebody else. And you don't learn to think really. That's not what you're taught in the education system. And also, even further to this point is, did you know before the 1800s, before the middle 1800s, did you know most people weren't employees? Most families owned their own business here in America. It's like a part of us. It's a part of like our history is to be business owners and entrepreneurs. And then what happened? What happened? So like back then, if you didn't have money, you would go work for somebody else as an apprentice and learn from them until you could get your feet under you so you could open up your own shop, open up your own business. Now, what does everybody do? I want a job. Oh, I want. Can you pay for me to learn this? And then, what's my salary going to be? And do I have the weekends off? And like, you can't even fathom. It's just like you were saying before, Cam, with like the IKEA furniture. All you fucking know how to do is piece together, a fucking chair that IKEA has already, done all the screws and all that shit and done all the sanding and the painting and all of it. They've done all of it. All you got to do is just like, oh, I got an Allen wrench that came with the furniture and I got the instructions and I just set it up exactly, how they've already laid it out. Right. That's playing Legos.
Remember that time you were like, people just want their kids factory farmed, but they don't want to eat factory farmed food, right?
Yeah.
And like somebody was like, well, as a teacher, I disagree. And it's like, as someone who financially benefits from enslaving kids, I disagree with your proposition.
Right.
Like, okay.
Like,
it's so ridiculous.
But people will literally fight for that. Right. And so you have
it's like,
to
as a woman who gets to go out and be in on TikTok all day and have a job, I disagree with your proposition that, kids being at home with their mother is best for them.
Right.
It's like, well, yeah, okay. I mean, because you don't want to do it. I get it.
Right. So education system is flawed. You have to realize that, because if you don't realize that, then what you're basically subscribing to is another subscription of another millions of kids being put into slavery, going into slave camp. That's what I'm calling school now. It's slave camp.
It's in so many ways. It's like you're not educating the kid in school. You're putting them through a system so that at the end of it, all they can do is be at the mercy of the blessings bestowed upon them by the corporations. It's like you spent 20 years teaching your kid to assemble IKEA furniture.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, all they'll be able to do, I know I'm an example of this. I've had to relearn everything. Like I put an LED bar, a couple LED bars and some spotlights on the UT on the side by side. And it was a fucking trial and error process, man. Like I had to do all the wiring and hook it to the battery. And it was so crazy. Like yesterday I spent a large part of the day like working on it, and I got it hooked up and it was working and the backlight worked, but then the front lights wouldn't turn on. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I was like, maybe it's this relay switch. So I replaced the harness with a whole new thing and it still wouldn't work. I'm like, and I was testing the switch. I would unplug and I'd put it into the backlight one and it would work. And I'm like, what is going on? And then, I had to figure out how to use a fucking multimeter in this context, like with the little probes and all that. Right. And I could tell I wasn't getting voltage through it or current. And I was like, what is going on here? And then on a whim, because of that, I checked the fuse. There's a little thing that has like the fuse thing, and I pulled it out, and I could see the fuse was blown. And then I went and I checked the other harness, and its fuse was blown too. I don't know why they both blew. Probably I had too many lights in that front hook all hooked together.
Yeah.
All right. So I talked to Josiah, and he was like, maybe just put them both on different circuits, for now, or just keep replacing the fuses and see if it stops doing that. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if you took that side by side to the shop, like where I bought it, and said, will you install these lights? Do you know how much it would cost?
$1,000.
Dude, I know, because that's what Trey found out. Like, he told me, like, and he decided he was gonna do it himself. He did it, and then he recommended I do it. And then I was like, yeah, just tell me what things to buy and I'll figure it out. Right.
Yeah.
He said they would charge $3,000.
$3,000. Holy shit.
I mean, all the lights together cost maybe 200.
Yeah.
And then just, and I had to go buy some extra like fuse things, or not fuses, but like little, whatever, big plastic
just to
pieces.
set up some lights.
It was nothing.
Yeah.
So look at that. I mean, it's not about saving money per se. It's just, but now I can do it. It's like, why would you do it? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you have someone else do that when you could just, and then I was like, we had to give some hay to the edibles, and I put it off until the end of the day. I was like, well, they need it now. So it was like getting dark. So I went and did it with a tractor, and I was like, dude, I could put fucking lights like this on the tractor. That would be like, imagine like floodlights. Like you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
fucking drive
yeah,
the tractor at night. You could see behind you. And
yeah.
then I was watching a video and the guy had like the rocker switches that go for the lights.
Uh-huh.
And he was showing different ones. And one of them said backup camera. And I was like, I could put my own fucking backup cameras on shit. Like, oh my God. Like, imagine on your tractor, you have a screen with a backup camera. Like, you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to, and it's not that hard. It's just like, I mean, I'm not going to say like building handcrafted, beautiful, ornate furniture is not hard to do. Like that is obviously a skill that has to be developed. But what if you did it from the time you were little? Like my kids, but before they're 5 years old, are learning how to sew, how to like, wood carve, like use
Yeah.
tools, like all kinds of stuff. And they're watching me do the UTV and all that. So I know I kind of sidetracked, but it's just like that point of like, yeah.
So funny because you're literally living the new frontier. You're like the example of that.
But what I'm saying is I know because I've had to relearn this shit. And like you guys,
Yeah.
you have property, you know what it's like. You have to like learn how to cut shit and do all. And it's like, even with the animals, wouldn't it have been great if you grew up knowing all this already? Like
Yeah.
when a chicken is sick or a cow does this or whatever, like how to do it. And like, that stuff like innately because it was in your natural learning ability instead of having to. The problem is having to learn it when you're an adult is all the stress and pressure that goes along with it because you don't want to fuck it up because it's like you don't have time to fuck it up.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, when you're 13 years old, you got time to fuck it up. Like Cat Williams wasn't even 18 yet. He's got that whole time to learn like how to fucking get this until he's an adult. I'm not saying your kids should go off when they're 13, but
he
back in the day, dude, like go look up David Farragut. Like,
yeah. But I mean, like, I'll get to that point.
Yeah.
But the second thing that you have to realize is you have to make money with purpose. You can't just be out there making money just to make money because that's literally how we like Mitch. Your story here is like perfect. It's absolutely perfect because before this, what were you doing?
Yeah,
before becoming a Technotutor distributor,
I was trying to do all sorts of things with internet marketing. I learned how to build sales funnels and all that. But then the thing that I found that I was like, ooh, I could make a lot of money with this was e-commerce, drop shipping products from China, and you put them on a Shopify store and you put on an ad and you get people to click and then you look for the numbers and all that. And it's like, that was what I was doing, like with my fucking one precious life.
You remember how at the end of the day you would just be like, I'm so satisfied with my life.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
just
that.
making the world so much better.
Yeah, exactly. But it's that exact thing. It's like making money doesn't cut it. I know many of the people in this group have had that thought of like, oh, if I could just make more money, then I could go live my purpose. If I could just make more money, then I could have the impact that I want to have and like be a good person. But it's like, I'm telling you, in that moment, it's like you get tested.
And then when you realize you're going to just go make money, it's like a fucking ruthless competition. You're competing against people who are like, yeah, we'll sacrifice kids. We don't care. And you're like, oh, fuck, I too have to compete against like shit.
Just for people listening to this, like what did you walk away from? Like just so people know, like you walked away from.
So like Cameron said, you have to relearn and redevelop these abilities. This was nothing that I learned in school, was how to like actually analyze data and like make compelling advertisements and all of that. And so when I really got it going, this is after I was using Technotutor for like a month or two, I started to realize, oh, this is how it works. I have the vocabulary to know how to make money now. In my really good months, I was making like over 30K in profit. I had some months where I was making like around 300 grand in revenue. It's a lot of money to move around. And
that's just you doing it yourself, like not with like a whole business.
And I have one assistant in the Philippines, but in that moment too, everyone's like, oh, wow, that would be amazing. It's like, yeah, but also you're like spending 10 grand a day on ads. And like, if that dude in China just doesn't answer my messages, I'm not just break even. No, I'm out like fucking lots of money that I'm, moving around. It's
like also, someone who's like learned how to do like a system of gambling or something where it's like you kind of know how to come out on top mostly, but like you're kind of stressed the whole time.
You're literally gambling though. You're literally gambling.
Right.
And at any point, Facebook could shut it down.
But you manifested it. So it was because God blessed you.
And I want you to hit the 2 points that the point that you would always say, of like, where's everything going at the end of the day?
Yeah. Well, this is where you have this self-honesty deep down, and it will rear its head every once in a while, and then you're like, ah, yeah, but later, I'll do my writing on that, right? I'll do some more TT on that. But it's like, no, at the end of the day, I would look at myself in the mirror, look at the numbers, whatever, and then I'm like there with myself. I'm like, what the fuck am I actually doing? Like, I am taking these ads that are not, the fucking ads that I would use to sell this pillow is just ridiculous. We don't have to go into that, but I'm selling these pillows that probably some kid has to sit at some machine for 12 hours a day to make sure that it's making these pillows that aren't that comfortable, that people don't really need. They're impulsively buying it, and they end up in a landfill. And meanwhile, I'm making Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba and all that, richer, and Mark Zuckerberg richer. And like, people don't need this shit that I'm selling. I'm literally just profiting off the fact that people impulsively are like, oh yeah, I think I need a new pillow. Great. Bye. And you just hope that enough of them don't refund in time, because it takes like 30 days to arrive.
And so what made you see that and then go, all right, I gotta change, or become a techno-tutor distributor, basically?
Well, I became a techno-tutor distributor around the time I started having a lot of success with it. Um, and then I was seeing what techno-tutor was doing for people, because I was realizing, oh, I'm also making money with techno-tutor, and people are actually getting results. And it was like so cool, because I think my third or fourth client was Jessica, my now wife, and I saw her changing. Like, that was like, wow, she is lit in front of my eyes. Her life is getting infinitely better. And that was so awesome. So it's like I was having this cognitive dissonance of like, wait, I thought you just had to like kind of be ruthless and like make money. Then I was like, wait, I actually am having a way where I'm selling a product, I'm making good money from it, and this person is changing. It's actually a win-win. In the past, you could just, oh, win-win. Yeah, they need a pillow. No, they don't need a fucking pillow. They
But
just
what about the
don't.
kid stitching the pillow together in the factory?
Exactly,
And like
exactly.
that's the point
And
where we said if you don't change the starting point, like you're literally enslaving kids. Like, well, I'm not doing it, and it's like you
it's
are
like
because you
you
it wouldn't
actually are.
exist if that wasn't there. Well,
Yeah,
I'm giving
yeah.
that kid an opportunity to make $1 this month. Like,
And it's like, yeah,
what if we just solved that problem?
right. And
You
and
know what
so
I mean?
that's
Instead
what
of being like, well, I'm just, it's like charity. Sorry, go ahead.
well, and that's what I started to see is I was like, wait, I actually see the bigger picture with TechnoTutor is we can have business where you provide a product and a service, and in exchange you get money, but then you also pour your time and energy into the people that you work with, and it's created in this perfect system. So now these other people can then learn and grow, and then they can also educate people. And
Like,
what is gonna get automated is fucking AI. I mean, it already basically is. It's like this. It's turning into a giant monopoly where Jeff Bezos comes out on top.
Oh, you know that point you're making just real quick of like you know how you're just making Zuckerberg rich or these guys, and it's like actually building their platforms because all these
Yeah.
people are in there and they're getting all that data to make the ads and all that. I just remember this point I was watching some video, it may have been one of the ones I sent you guys, but this guy was making this point about he was I think some researcher in the AI field, and he was like, um, he's like, for years, when we would talk about AI to like investors and stuff, people would just kind of like laugh at us or just so they like, whatever, like for a long time. And then suddenly he's like, look at all the capital that's going into AI.
yeah.
So, and then I just saw this point of like how there's trillions of dollars just going like this. And then it's like AI, oh, let's put it over here. And it's like, it's over here. There's this kid in slavery right here. And they're like, oh, let's put it over here. Hey, don't worry about that. And it's like, but there's no money to do that, to fix that. And it's like, yeah, no, there's no money. We got to keep doing what we're doing. Like, oh, look at that. AI, let's put all this money over here. And it's like,
Yeah.
what about the other problem? And no one cares about that. And then all the people, basically all the guys who got raised by single parents, and I know that wasn't you, Mitch, but generally speaking, these e-commerce
Yeah.
e-commerce boys, and crypto boys and all this, they're just a bunch of young guys with no purpose who want Ferraris and have never gotten laid and didn't have a dad growing up. And they're thinking if they can just get rich, all their problems will be solved. They're fueling the the crypto and then the this and the online marketing, and now it's the AI, because I think they're launching the OpenAI GPT store,
Oh,
Yeah.
which is going to be like like the app store for Apple. Like that made so people can like start making apps. Now people are going to start making GPTs that you can then when they have the Tesla bots, they're going to have, I'm sure, some kind of store where you can like train Tesla bots, and this, some kids thinking like, oh, I'm going to do it, and all they're actually doing. Same thing happened with Amazon. You create your online store, and then like Amazon eventually is just like, oh yeah, thanks. We'll take that now. We're 1 cent cheaper and we'll promote ours instead of you.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
And the big thing there is like that model can't work anymore, of just like making money just to make money, because it's literally fueling the collapse of the system. Like what Mitch was saying, that point of like everything just goes to a landfill. They literally call, the average person a consumer. You're just a consumer to them. And it's like, oh, just make any bullshit, give it to the consumer. They'll consume it. And then it's like, what are we doing? We're actually consuming this world. We're turning our world into a waste, into a landfill. We are wasting away. That will not work. That will not be able to continue in this new frontier. Like that will die off. That will die off. And I know that it will die off. Here's how I know. Because one, that point that you were saying of like, they've got all this money and then they're like, oh, AI. Okay, yeah, we're going to put our money into that. Not to the poor kids, not to the poverty, the kids getting abused. No. Why? Because they see it as AI is going to make us a whole bunch more money. That's why we're going to put our money into AI. They don't even, how stupid can you fucking be that you don't see the value of like actually solving poverty for the entire world? Like that is
and then pretending like AI is going to solve it.
Right.
As if it's a problem of not enough data points in a fucking large language model.
And that just tells you, that goes back to our education system is flawed. Like you have a very stupid education if you can't even put that point together for yourself of like, oh, actually we should take care of people, because it's like people live on the planet, bro. Like, oh no, we'll build up this fucking computer and the computer will solve all our problems. Like that's not gonna happen.
Have you read Hitchhiker's Guide?
No.
Have you fucking read any of the fucking sci-fi? Like it's just that's there to tell you what's the consequence.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about the Asimov stuff. Is I really love his writing because although it's very entertaining, there's this point where it comes across as if he's doing a scientific experiment with his writing, where he's like, here's my hypothesis. We invent robots that can do X, Y, and Z and follow these rules. What would happen? And then he's like testing it out through create like a story that unfolds of like, what happens when it's in this situation? Like, dude, some of those stories are so fucking crazy of like, do you remember that one where it was like, there was a room where the robot had to like save somebody because they were in danger? Do you remember this one? I don't remember the details of it.
Is it the very first one in iRobot? There's one where there's a little girl and she has like the robot is like her play buddy.
No. This is like one later where it's like they're doing these experiments where it's like there's a person who's in danger and they're trying to trick the robot into doing something against its programming to like, I forget the details, but I'm just saying like, anyways, it's so cool the way he does all that, because it's like, everyone should read this.
Yeah.
So we could, but otherwise the only people who know about robots are the really smart people who are just trying to make money. Everybody else is like, what? Like, I don't know. If everybody grew up reading this, they'd be like, hey, this is actually an existential risk.
Yeah.
This is dangerous what we're doing. It's like if you could go back in time and be like, hey, maybe the development of the nuclear weapons in the way it's being done is not a good idea because it's going to create this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to create this problem.
Thousands or millions of people who see that and can work on it together instead of just 20 people in the room.
Or just they wouldn't accept and allow it. If people were all educated, highly educated, and had read fucking Thucydides in like Plutarch or all these things, if they had read all this stuff, or Leviathan, they would be like, oh, I see what's going on. I see this political game. I don't accept that. I'm not voting. No one's going to vote. No, we're not doing it. We're going to do this. Like our votes should be this way, or we, they wouldn't accept it anymore.
You know what? It
wouldn't be allowed. Yeah.
That point with like the canon, right? You sent this guy talking about the invention of the canon, right? With, somebody came up with like, this iron tube that can fire out an iron ball, right? And he brought it to Constantinople, and he was like, "Hey, look at this new invention. I call it a cannon, and it can shoot these iron balls. We call them cannonballs, and it can destroy things." And Constantinople was like, "Listen, we're huge. We got these massive walls. We don't need this shit. Thanks, but no thanks." And he was like, "Okay." And then he went and sold it to somebody else who happened to be the enemies of Constantinople. And they rolled up their cannons to these walls that have been up there standing for thousands of years. And they used the cannons to break down these walls and take over Constantinople. And Constantinople fell because they didn't have this technology.
And thankfully that happened, though, because otherwise we wouldn't have "They Might Be Giants" song. Do you guys know the song?
No. Yes, I know.
Our kids love that song.
You know what it makes me think of, though, every time I hear it is, you know.
Yeah, the little violin
Yeah.
thing or whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
You guys are
do you know what I'm talking
fucking
about, Mitch?
hipsters. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
You know that Istanbul, not Constantinople, that song?
He does not know that stuff.
Do you remember? Did you ever watch Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes.
The theme song?
That
Yes,
shit was
no, I
depressing.
don't know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that band made that song too.
Oh, okay.
You're not
Yeah,
the boss
yeah.
of me now.
Oh man. Oh, they're like punk 90s.
They have a lot of
bullshit.
different kind of style, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, this is a
Yeah.
very deep cut. Where
This has nothing to do with anything else we've talked about. Sidetrack.
dad jokes don't work if you have to explain like an hour of context.
So
I'm just trying to push the boundaries.
But
Yeah,
the point being
Push
with
the edge.
like the cannons, right? Like, okay, these guys didn't get the cannons. So these other guys had a major advantage because they had more advanced technology. The cannon in this context is what we're talking about as far as developing yourself, your children to be really effective. And that's the next point. The next point is you have to be the best parent. If you're going to create this new frontier, you're going to manifest destiny because you can see that this is not working the way that we're living right now. And you want to develop that. Okay. You have to be the very best parent possible as well. Right. Like, and what that means is you can't be like what we were talking about earlier. The parents who are like, oh, I'm just going to live my life. Oh, like, yeah, put the kid in daycare, give them formula, whatever. And I'm not saying there's, not an instance where somebody is in a position where they have to use formula, like I'm not retarded. Right. But what I'm saying is, why would you otherwise say like, well, I just
even
don't
in
feel
that case, like
doing
you don't have to use formula. You can use the goat milk, all kinds of other stuff.
exactly.
You don't need to use the fucking Similac. That's
it.
like
Exactly.
it's got like all
Exactly.
this sugar added into it. It's crazy.
It is. And again, that goes back to like being educated to know that, hey, there are alternatives. There are way better alternatives than the options that you're presented with. Right. And the reason why this is so important as well is because, again, if you're not being the best parent, that means your child is missing out. They're missing out on that nurturing and education that they could be getting. And they're going to be going through the world like lost or feeling like they need to heal from, the trauma that you did to them or whatever. Why are all these people in therapy right now? It's like, because they're in therapy, they don't get to actually be reaching their potential right now. They don't actually get to be out in the world, like doing everything they could possibly be doing because they're still trying to figure out like, oh, all this shit happened to me in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to be the best parent because those who are the best parents, their kids are going to be walking around. Like, imagine this. Your kid is super intelligent among a sea of idiots. Like, just like you were saying earlier with, you have all these, billionaires or whatever who've read all the sci-fi books and they know all the things about robots. And they're like, hey, I know that there's this dilemma actually, but the average person doesn't know. Hey, what if we had robots? It's a cool idea, right?
Stop them, yeah.
Yeah, no one's going to stop you. Like, everybody's like, yeah, sounds like a great idea. And so that they could just keep going. Like, all right, they don't even know. They don't even know the risks involved. They don't even know problems. I could just take advantage of the situation.
It's kind of like they're like, hey, we can create robots. And someone's like, yeah, but the robots will take over and kill all of us. And they're like, that sounds like sci-fi. You're like, dude, the robots are sci-fi. Come on. Like, you're just like forgetting that part of it. But like, oh, we can do this part, but we'll avoid that part for sure, right?
Well, and so
hang on, Mitch. Because there's this really cool point that I think Abel was making this point yesterday, but he was saying that, you know, how the if you look at Muhammad, you know, from Islam, whatever,
not a drawing of him.
Not you're not allowed to look at that. You're not even allowed to draw.
He said, look at him. I'm like, whoa.
But you know,
child slavery, totally okay. Drawing a picture of God or the prophet or whatever, not okay.
No. Anyway, apparently he's made all these predictions that have actually come true, right?
See, he read Asimov. That's what I'm saying.
but here's the point. Here's the point. Abel was saying this. It's funny if you actually consider the point, because some of the predictions were like that the Islamic world would have the tallest buildings, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but you literally just created the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Like, it's like you all read his works and then you made it happen. And now you're calling them predictions. It's like, he just said, let's do this.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and then everybody went and made that happen. So it's like the same thing. Science fiction. Yeah. Science fiction is like, oh, that would be crazy, right? And then we make it happen. It's not fiction.
Programming. He wasn't predicting, he was programming it to happen.
Right. It's just like, you know, Bill Gates back in 2014 said this quote. He said, labor demands for lots of skill sets will be substantially lower, right? Technology will make labor demands substantially lower. And then he invested $2 billion into AI.
How did he know?
What a prediction. It's like, he made it fucking happen. He's telling you.
It's like, you know, in 1 year, you're going to be eating carrots. And then like you go and like that came out of your soil. And then you're like, what? How do you know that? And then like I'm going there, like building a garden in your house, like doing all this stuff. And I'm like, look, and you're like, oh, you knew back then. I'm like, yeah.
Exactly. And okay. So the next point then is you have to be teachable. You have to be adaptable. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
Okay. Here.
What point are we on?
4.
Can we go back through real quick? What other points?
Yeah.
I didn't even know we were doing a point by point.
Yeah, we're going point by point. Yeah, I know. That's it was a surprise for you. I wanted to
redo the 4 points, and then Mitch, do you have something? I just want to make sure people are following us.
Number 1, education system is flawed. You have to realize that, right? Number 2, make money with purpose. Number 3, be the best parent. I put make money with purpose before be the best parent because ostensibly, you know, growing up, you're going to be making money before you have kids. Yeah. So make money with purpose, actually have purpose behind it. Right. And purpose being the best purpose, what we're talking about, manifesting this destiny, like actually doing something that's best for your environment, for others around you. And what I mean by that, let me just be really frank, become a technotutor distributor. But 4 or 3, be the best parent. 4 was you have to be teachable, adaptable. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to change.
So now on this point, really, it fits into all of it with the new frontier. You know, you hear the word frontier, kind of have the vision in your mind of like, it's like what I see is actually what's kind of like you got the wilderness in front of you. It's like, okay, we're going into the wilderness to now develop this, right? And make it better than where we came from. And when you look at in history, when this happened was America. Like America was the great experiment where they were leaving the old system behind. That was at least the plan, because it was like, what was the old system? It was kings and queens and serfs, basically slavery and slave masters. That was the old system. However, if you're not teachable, if you're not willing to adapt, it's like you will take that old, it's like a virus, and you bring it into the new world with you, where it's like your tendency, what you've been programmed with is this old slavery system. And that's what it's either we do this new frontier where we actually have a better way of living, which is what we're making happen. It's destiny. Yet, if you're not careful, you'll see the old system is still trying to prop itself up through the Great Reset, through social credit system, through, you know, a technocracy, oligarchy, like people at the top and then slaves, the whole techno feudalism. That's the old system trying to rear its ugly head. And what is required is a true willingness to change, a true willingness for self honesty, because that is what's required to succeed on the new frontier. Otherwise, you're fucked.
You know, there was this philosopher, you guys ever heard of them, Immanuel Kant?
Yeah.
Right. And everyone, like, some people really like him, but this whole idea that you know, it was like, can people were wondering, like, how can we understand reality directly? And he made this point about, like, you can't understand things outside of like, even the ideas of space and time are so deeply embedded within us that we can't really understand reality without them. And so how much does our inner process affect what we see, essentially, right? And so my point in bringing that up is, like, they were exploring these ideas, but what they never looked at was, like, can you change those points? And so, like, what, to Mitch's point, it's like you can go explore outer space, right? And you're going to find worlds, and you can colonize these worlds, and you can make all this stuff, but guess what you're going to recreate?
Yeah.
Exactly what's here,
It's like
because
fall.
you're not changing. Oh God.
Well,
You know,
I'm on
wait
page
till you
500.
get, wait,
So
I was gonna say, wait till you get to the second page, man. But it's like you can't go into outer space and expect to find something different than what's here on Earth if you don't change the inner space to what's
Yeah.
best for all. Otherwise, you're just going to recreate that same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's self-perfection right there, right?
Exactly that. And
there's no technology that's going to save us.
Right. It's like you have to be working with others, actually working with your own mind, understanding your own education. That's why it's the first point. Understanding that the things that you want and you desire are not even things that you want and desire. They've been programmed into you by, you know, other people in order to keep you as a slave, you know, and make you think like that's what you actually want. And that's why so many people will defend the education system knowing it's fucking fucked up, you know, knowing that. So, all right, moving on. The next one is you have to be able to influence others so that they can see this clearly as well. Right. And the reason why that's so significant is because otherwise you're raising your kids in the best way. Right. You're doing this and you're like, oh yeah, you know, my kids are going to be super intelligent. But then what happens when the fucking another lockdown comes up? Right. And everyone's like, well, you need to put this into your arm for grandma, for my grandma and their grandma. It's like, whoa, what the fuck does me taking some stupid injection have to do with your fucking grandma? Right? Because we all said so. Like, that's not how, you know, clear thinking works. Just because a whole bunch of people say it, just because a whole bunch of people believe a lie doesn't make it true. Right?
I thought COVID was real.
Yeah, I thought slavery was a good idea back in the day. Now I don't.
Why? Yeah, right. Right. Exactly. So you have to be able to influence others. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You can't have a world where we end child slavery if all these other people still believe in slavery and they want to enslave children. You have to influence them, which means, hey, we're going to have to educate these people. We're going to have to.
And by the way, like, giving your kid Disney and iPads with Disney games and constantly impulsing them with watching Disney shows and everything is enslaving them to Disney so that they will continue consuming Disney. And it is of no value to their lives whatsoever. There's a place for fun and playing. And I'm not saying you have to hide everything from them. I'm just saying you making the choice of, like, well, yeah, fuck it, and just let them have whatever they want. Like, imagine Disney is so influential and manipulative. They know how to exactly sugarcoat everything just so the kid wants to look at it no matter what. And you're not even looking at the insidious nature. Like, go watch a Disney movie and write down every single thing and ask yourself, what does this imply? If my child lived this personality, this character, if they acted like this, if they talked like this, what would that mean about their life and who they are and so forth? And ask yourself, do you want them to be programmed with that?
And look at how interesting that is. Like, Disney is influencing your child, and they've influenced you to think that it's good for them to influence your child and to influence all these other parents to think that it's good to influence their children. And they literally, what the influence becomes is, you said it, but I'm going to say it just a little more clearly, is the influence becomes that your child will give them money for the rest of their lives. That's it. That's it. It's like, what better gig would you want? You know, if you're Disney, you're like, hey, you give me money for the rest of your life. Oh, okay. Yeah, Disney. Oh, I love you. I love you so much. I'm just going to give you all my money. And then they become adults. Literally, they become adults that get like fucking Mickey Mouse tattoos and they go to Disney every week. Like, I live here in Orlando.
And even if those people, if there's a lot of people who don't do that, they still put their kids into Disney.
Exactly. It's a perpetual system. Right.
Well, I just had the thought now, because now I'm a parent, and it's like I'm like very aware of what Aristotle's being influenced by, and I just had the thought of like, imagine taking him to Disney World, and it like made me sick to my stomach, like what that would do. Because I know he would be like smiling, because basically no matter where we go, he's smiling and laughing and engaging, and he like wants to understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, so we're here walking around this park, and there's like these giant character. It's just a really, really.
Oh, dude, I totally know what you mean. It's like you actually,
object.
when you see it, it's like, actually, you're sick. You're like, wow, you see how fucked, because your kid's happy even if they don't have it. Yeah. And then you see the abuse of that.
Just as happy playing with the fucking stick that he found outside, and now he's like hitting it on the ground and like laughing.
Imagine you had to sit in daycare all day and not be with your parents, or sit in school all day and fucking someone's droning on about boring shit you don't care about. Of course, then when you get Disney, you're going to be like, oh, overjoyed. And it's like, but I want to bring joy to my child. And it's like, they could have joy all day if you weren't fucking busy building IKEA furniture.
Right.
And it's like for the people listening, this is like, to the point is, one, for yourself, realize, even if you're in a position right now where it's like you got a lot of consequence, like your kid is going to school, whatever. Okay. That's why we have the self-perfected group to support you. So in the next 6 months to 12 months, we can actually sort that out. You can make enough money to retire your wife so she can stay home. Like, that's possible, and we have proven it time and time again. Yeah. Now, the other part, though, is, like Drake is saying here, the fifth part is to influence others. It's not enough for just you to go, oh, great, I realize, yeah, it makes sense for me to, have my wife at home with my kids, or, to not watch Disney. It's like, yeah, okay, good. You realize that for yourself. But now the next step is like, we got to fucking mature and share that with people really effectively. And real sharing, real influence, real selling is when the other person comprehends it. It's not when you just say the words or you make a Facebook post going, hey guys, we should, do this or do that or whatever. It's like, no, it's actually when that other person understands it, and then they take it on, and then they fully do it. Because people do this process and then they hit a wall. So you got to be prepared for that. What do you say?
Yeah. Sorry, I cut out. I was saying, I see a lot of people make a random post, and it's like, what was the starting point? Was it just to go, and tell, or was it to actually get someone to comprehend? Yeah. And I like what you said, because that's where the telling is not selling comes in. It's not that you can't tell things. It's just that in the telling, whether it's a telling or an asking a question or whatever, or telling a story, whatever, is the person comprehending at some level the point you're getting across to move them to take action on it? It's not, that's where, okay, anyways. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah. And like just yesterday, for example, right? There's so many people that I know, like I've developed a lot of community and connections. And I had a techno tutor presentation yesterday with a guy who's local here, who's awesome guy. Like, he really wants to grow and change. And he's getting techno tutor this week on Wednesday. Awesome. And it's like, it's so cool because I've done this long enough now where I really know how to support him. Like, I was telling him in advance, like, look, you're going to get this. You're going to get excited. It's going to be fun. You're going to use it for a while. You're going to see some change. And at some point, some wall is going to come up. And that's okay. Because in that moment, you have my phone number. You text me, call me. Like, we will figure it out. And then you'll go to the next level. And then you'll hit another wall. But at some point, you'll start to anticipate the wall. And then you can jump the wall or block, take the wall down. And then I helped him even see he's like that. He's going to understand this to such a point that it's going to make sense for him to start to share this with others. But the only way I've got good enough to explain this to people is by attempting to share this with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. It's like, it's not like, oh, I'm just amazing at talking to people and telling people. It's like, no, I really fucking care. And I prove that by going all out with people, and then again and again and again, and then supporting others to do the same. That's the power of 10. If you don't know what the power of 10 is, stay tuned. We'll talk about it in another podcast. But
Yeah.
that's really the whole way that this whole thing works.
Yeah. It's really cool because we're like, why wouldn't you want to make money doing this? You know, like to actually support people to see, oh, my education is flawed. Oh, there's another way. Oh, I can be teachable. Oh, I can live a life that I actually want and enjoy. Like, and you can see the influence that you're having on people. And like literally here in my community, my local area, a friend of mine who was one of the first people that I sold TechnoTutor to is now years later having a child. He's like he's married because of the influence of our group, our community, because of the tools, because of like the ability for him to change and for his now wife to change. And now they're preparing to have a baby. They're, in a few months, they'll be having a baby. And they're so excited and ecstatic about it. And I'm excited too, right? But it's so cool because they couldn't see how they were going to get to this point from where they were. Their lives changed dramatically from where they were. And they could tell you, they could point out like, no, this has changed. This has changed. I wouldn't have been able to do this. I don't know how, because my whole family still does this thing. They're actually attacking me because I've changed. Like it's so cool. And they're like, and I don't care. I'm stable within the point. I'm not worried about my family. Like, oh, they're not going to like me. Like, because I can see that what I'm doing is actually the best thing. This is the thing I always wanted. This is the thing. They're attacking me because they're jealous about it.
Isn't that what Cat Williams was talking about?
Yeah.
It's that point. It's like when you're actually doing what's best, people are going to attack you, but it's not because they're doing something wrong. It's because they're jealous or they're seeing that they should change and they don't want to change. So it's easier to do that. Right. But he's like, yeah.
When you're stable about it, it's like, okay, like that's going to happen. What are you going to do? What do you like? Actually consider this, because I know somebody listening to this is like, I don't want to be attacked. Right. But what are you going to do? Are you just going to sit on the sidelines of your own fucking life just because you can't handle it when somebody says, I disapprove?
Right.
Or are you going to step the fuck up? Because look at, I bet the same person who doesn't want to be attacked looks at Elon Musk's life and like, man, that would be cool if I could just have a little sliver of that. Well, a little sliver of that comes with a whole fuck of backlash, a whole fuck of like people who's just like, oh, you shouldn't do this. Oh, why don't you? What? Like everybody.
Also, you're being attacked all day long. It's called advertising.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you're being attacked by having to go to school all fucking day. You're being attacked by everything that like the fucking food you're eating, like everything.
Your taxes.
It's attacking you.
You're being attacked by your own
literally
mind.
Attacked.
You're being attacked by your own mind who's saying you can't fucking do it. That's an attack that you're taking.
Yeah, listen to Revenge of the Ego. It explains all this.
Right?
Right.
So the next point is that means we have to become billionaires and politicians. Right? And this part is really significant because it's not just becoming a billionaire for a billionaire's sake. And you might think, well, how is this? Make money with purpose and then become a billionaire or a politician? No, it's actually hand in hand, because look at this. First off, as Mitch was saying, if you actually are focused on this, you can make really good money with making an impact, a change in somebody's life. And you can't make the money with what we're doing. It's like, it's such a clear example. You cannot make money unless you actually make a difference in somebody's lives.
I mean, the reality is you can create money by having a business, build a business. Now the question is, do you want to build a business with purpose where you do what is best for somebody? Or do you just want to build a business where you only make money and you actually contribute to the problems? It's not like something unique. It's just called business. Well, what do most people do? They have a job and they hope someday that they'll be rich suddenly. That's like going to McDonald's every day and then just hoping someday you're going to have fresh organic carrots that show up in your house, like that,
or you
came
get
out of your
sold
garden.
to my Or you get sold on some idea of like, oh, I'm going to sell life insurance, or I'm going to sell solar. I'm going to,
Right, but you're
sell.
contributing
And
to
it's
the
like,
problem.
Yeah.
You're
exactly,
contributing to the
exactly.
problem.
And you're not actually developing. It's like back when we were talking about chess development, a key part of development on this new frontier is you have to learn how to generate leads or generate new contacts and talk to people and give value to people. And some people right away will get it and they're like, great, yeah, value exchange, great. Now you got your business. Other times it's going to take you a while, but that's the development. And every time you go back to your solar job or your life insurance or whatever the new flavor of the day is, it's like you're actually weakening yourself because you're either getting stronger or weaker in every single moment. And so when you go and you ask, your boss for your new set of leads, so you can call them about life insurance, it's like you are crippling yourself.
Here's
The
the
whole
bridge.
insurance thing is a whole fucking scam, man. Like you start looking into all
And
how that works, and it's
oh
like,
man,
oh
and even
shit.
now too, like I mean, not to go too into it, but like they're those fires in California and everything, like homeowners insurance is like their was it State Farm?
Yeah.
They
Like, we're not
stopped.
fucking paying this.
Let me get the proper fucking fact check here because it was
Of course,
pretty.
because they're like, if something bad actually happens, we have to pay all this money out, then we can't do our investments and everything. Because they're not doing it to help you. They're doing it so they can have a cash flow to do investments and stuff and get rich. That's their starting point. Getting
Right.
rich in itself, like we're saying, is not a problem, is the starting point. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Having great technology is not a problem. It's the starting point. If you have to enslave everybody and keep them enslaved in order to have your technology, let go of the technology for a bit.
Yeah.
State
What was
State
it you were gonna
Farm
say?
has stopped selling new home insurance policies in California. And State Farm
Why?
is like the largest supplier. Yeah,
Of course.
Why? Don't those people need it more than anybody else?
exactly.
That's why we stopped, because they actually use their insurance. We don't want that. Right.
It's wild.
So here's the bridge to the gap. It's we have to become really wealthy because we're actually talking about a real difference. We have to become billionaires. We have to become politicians so that we can change the laws for everyone else. Because and if you're here in America, the billionaires are the ones lobbying in Congress or whatever. They're the ones who are in the politicians' ear saying, hey, can you change this just a little bit so I can make a little bit more money and screw everybody else over? Keep them from getting what I have. Right.
That's what leads to all the Epstein shit, by the way.
Yes.
Because then it's like you have this whole game that's being played where I got to influence people and control them and blackmail them and all this stuff. And that's where you get all that weird crap going on. None of that would be happening if people's starting point wasn't, I'm just making money no matter what. I don't care what the consequence is.
Yeah.
So just realize if you're fucking like, oh, these Epstein and Bill Clinton and all these people, like, but you're out here doing all this same shit that's just funneling money to those people, you're part of the problem. You're enabling it. You might as well be the one raping the kids on that fucking island because you're the one who's allowing them to have that kind of power and ability.
Or it's so funny when you see these like, freedom type people, but they like to sell life insurance. Like I know a few people specifically like this because like, oh, life insurance is a great way to make money. It's like literally look at these life insurance policies and these companies that you're working with, like Pacific Life or whatever, and go look at the World Economic Forum list of partners. They're all on there.
Yeah.
Like it's the same fucking system.
Yeah. And just on this point as well, like somebody might react to what Cam just said of like, I'm not that bad. I'm not feeding into this. I'm not that, but it's like,
was the German who let Hitler put Jews in concentration camps any less bad than Hitler?
See,
Exactly.
I mean, because people nowadays would say, no, they're terrible. How could they let that happen?
Right. But also,
and also you're complaining about the point.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're getting off on complaining and acting like holier than thou. And I'm like, you're allowing the problem to exist and then complaining about the problem and projecting it onto all these other people that you are allowing to be there.
And then you have the flip side of that. You have the flip side of that of just being like, there's this point within a lot of people of being nonchalant. Like, oh, it doesn't bother me. Oh, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to any of that. I don't like, no, I live my own world. Everything's cool. But it's interesting because like literally our entire world has been impulsed with this image of what is cool, right? And it's like it's Charlie Sheen and fucking Ferris Bueller, and he's like in the jail smoking a cigarette with his leather jacket, and he's just like so cool, so cool, and everybody wants to be this cool, but to be cool means you don't care. And if you don't care, how are we supposed to bring about this world? How are you expecting?
If you want to be cool, you'll never learn. And that's, if you really look at it, the kids who were cool in school, generally speaking, were the kids who were like not, they just like didn't care about it. And like you can't be cool. Like I remember the first time we picked up our first cow, right? And I left a gap in the area between the trailer and I was supposed to stand there and make sure she didn't come through that way. And the fucking cow pushed me over and knocked me over. I looked stupid. Right. But I was just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. But then I realized in that moment, okay, I have to have a different presence around these large animals that I was not aware of before. But if I wasn't willing to be embarrassed, I wasn't embarrassed, but I mean, like, it could have been.
Yeah.
Right. If I wasn't willing to be like, oh, I'm the cool guy, I don't get pushed over by an animal, like I'm tough, like whatever. If I was like, I want to avoid those kind of situations at all costs and just be cool, I would just sit in the corner and just be like, yeah, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like that is that attitude. You'll never create anything if you want to be cool. Like Elon Musk is not cool.
Right. Yeah. No, he's not.
I'm not saying he's the greatest person ever, but like he's not. He's actually a good dork.
Yeah. But it's like
Did you listen to that Peter Diamandis interview, Mitch?
Yeah.
Did you listen to I think I only sent it. No, he did one with Elon Musk recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And there's this one part where they're talking about how many people have cell phones or something. I forget what it was.
6.8 billion have
he goes 6.9 billion. And Elon Musk goes 6.9, really? And the guy's like, yeah. And he's like, so 6,900 million. Okay. and then Diamandis is like, yeah, that's a joke my teenagers would make. Right. And then like Elon Musk laughs really hard at that of like, yeah, I'm immature. It's funny though,
Yeah. That's hilarious.
I mean, the richest guy on the planet, apparently, according to the lists, you know what I mean? And he's just like joking about 69 and shit,
Yeah. So last 2 points is we have to become billionaires and politicians so we can change the laws for everyone else. But also, we have to raise totally prepared kids, like actually intelligent kids. Like you can't just get by with just like, oh, well, we nurture our kids and it feels good. It's like, no, you actually have to prepare them for this world. And I need to make that really clear, because there are a lot of parents out there that are like, well, we're just not doing those things that the school does. But you don't realize you're actually just doing school at home or a reaction to school, right? And you're not actually preparing your child. Oh, we don't do AI. We don't do any screen time at all. It's like you're not preparing your child. And if they're not prepared, then you failed on being the best parent. You failed on like doing your job as a parent is to prepare your child to be effective in this world. That is your number one job, right? And that does entail nurturing them. That does entail like actually guiding them so that they're not completely lost in this world where they're like, oh, I'm a wild child or whatever. And I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's like, they actually have to understand limitation, but not be limited, and that's super important, because otherwise you're just doing a reaction and you're perpetuating the same cycle. You're just on the flip side of the cycle,
Right. As opposed to, imagine your kid can pick up any book and understand everything out there. And you're there, obviously, like 0.3 or whatever it is, being the best parent. That's part of it. But it's also now like really making sure that kid is set up, that they can then spell any word, comprehend any word, process any word. Like that is a true education. And that is then, second wave, third wave, that fits into this whole thing as well. But it's like really, really awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to share something with you guys real quick.
Go for it. Because we're on the last point.
I was just texting. Yeah, it's relevant to this.
Is my favorite.
I just wanted to show y'all real quick, like, because you said that point about prepared kids and so forth. And like, it's cool because all this stuff I share about our kids, like, it's not that we haven't supported them to get to the point, but like, we're not telling them to do these things. Do you know what I mean? Here, I'll just share screen. Okay, this is because okay, I'll just share this real quick. I was telling Mitch, like we're supporting Max to walk to the point of like sleeping in his own bed completely himself. Because for a long time he would sleep in the bed with me or with us, right? But primarily with me. And there's a whole context to that. It's like when we have a baby, then around 2 we had another baby. So then one kid would sleep with me, the baby sleeps with Katie, and then that would kind of shift. And we have beds in a bedroom for the older kids, and they're learning to sleep in their own bed, right, to support them, right? But if they end up getting into bed, and that's not a big deal, it's like, but we're supporting them to develop that point, right?
Yeah.
Because, and that is something people want to avoid, right? Because it's like, well, I'm going to sleep train my kid and then I don't have to deal with that later. It's like, you're going to have to deal with it if you don't sleep train your kid and do all that stuff. Like at a certain point, you have to teach them to sleep in their bed. Some of them might be okay with it and it just becomes really easy. Some of it might be more challenging, right? Seneca tends to sleep in her bed easily, like no problem. She'll still sometimes come in late at night, right? But anyway, so he's walking to that point, right? And that's part of him staying up late, sleep, being able to read and all that stuff, whatever he wants. Anyway, so in that process, like that one day he woke up early and we hung out and we did some chess lessons and all that. So anyways, he's kind of learning that point of like, hey, I can go to sleep when I want, I can wake up when I want. He's like realizing this, right? So here's what he shares. So here's what I woke up to when I came in the kitchen this morning. Or actually, I guess a little bit later, but it was I took a picture of it, right? So this is a peanut butter jelly sandwich he made for himself that he wrapped up with saran wrap, and that's a mug with, you see a tea bag in there.
Yeah.
Right. And then here's the note that was underneath it. Here, let me get rid of this one. Here's the note that I saw that he wrote underneath it. Max's breakfast: tea, PBJ, egg, hash browns, sausage, buttered toast.
Yeah, I love it.
Right. So he's like preparing his breakfast. He had his PBJ and his tea with the thing already in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just so cool, like, to see him, like, no one told him to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like bedtime, and I was like, where's Max? And I go in there in the kitchen. He was in there making his peanut butter jelly. So he had cut the bread himself with the bread knife. He had got all the stuff on there, put it together, saran wrap, all that.
That's
like,
hilarious. So he's doing this the night before.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I didn't even know there was a note and everything. And like when I came back in the morning, I saw he had like set it all up for himself.
Yeah. That's hilarious. That's good.
So it's just like you see, like, and he's 7 and he's a boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And he's the same boy that'll just run around with pants that are soggy on the bottoms because he's running around in puddles all day, and you have to tell him, hey, change your pants, because he doesn't care. But I'm saying he's like very much a boy who's like running around doing that stuff, but then he's taking responsibility in these areas. You see what I mean? Yeah. And like most kids, you would think you'd have to like enforce that discipline on them, right? So it's cool because it's natural from the perspective that's coming from him. It's not like enforced, but he was prepared for that to be natural, right? So this is the same kid who's like got the library in his bed at night, right?
That's so cool. That's okay, so cool. So last point is all this comes together to you have to leave a legacy, right? The manifest destiny, right? It's a legacy. And Cam, you're gonna love this. Do you know what a legacy is?
Tell me.
Man. So the first definition that comes up for legacy, when you look in a dictionary like dictionary.com or, the law definition of legacy.
Mine cut out. My headphones. Sorry.
Oh, your headphones are dead.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on?
I can't hear you. I want to hear. Right. The law definition of legacy is a gift you leave by will. Mm-hmm. Right. And if you just look at that, right, what's the gift that we're leaving our children? It's this world. But what is the gift that you're going to leave them? Are you going to leave them a gift that is a beautiful world where, hey, you don't have to worry about being enslaved as a child. You don't have to worry about, being impoverished. You don't have to worry about being abused, right? Or is it going to be the world where it's like, it's just basically exactly how it is right now, right? What is the gift that you're leaving? And then my favorite part is by will. and it's the law definition. So by will is like, yeah, I wrote it in my
Legal
will.
document saying this is what has to be done when I'm dead. Yeah.
Right. But also, where does that word will come from? It's your will. By thy will be done. Right? It's like you have to leave a legacy by your will. You have to will it. You have to make it happen. It's not just, oh, it's just gonna magically appear. Oh, just because I want it. No, you have to will it. You have to make it happen. Right? You have to actually put it in place, right? The laws, change the laws. All these things have to happen in order for this to be created. Right? And so what are you willing to happen? What are you willing to do to make it happen? Right? And it's really cool because we can manifest this, as in make it really clear. We are manifesting this right now. Right? And it's just the point of it's now clear. You have a goal, you have a direction. Are you willing to do it or not? Or are you just going to go right back into the old system where you already know where that leads? And the way I look at it is like this. It's sort of like, when you play a video game, you can like respawn, right? You have a save point, right? It's like if you can imagine, you're playing a game and you're getting to this point where you're making it happen. It's getting to the point where it's like, this is the best part of the game where we can fix everything. And it's like, okay, yes, this is like, now this is the best part. We're right there. I'm almost done. I've almost got this game. Yes. You're getting to the point where it's the apex of all the things that you've done, all your accomplishments. Right. And then you fucking fall, you fail, you lose. You know what happens when you fail, you lose? You respawn. You have to go back to the save point where everything is the fucking worst, where it's literal hell. It's literally where you couldn't do it, where you didn't do it. That's where we're at right now. And so the apex, the part where we get the accomplishment, it's like, that's where we end child slavery, we end abuse, we end poverty.
Dude, everything is here for us, like the technology, the infrastructure, the awareness, everything is here for us to solve the problem once and for all. I'm going to say if in a hypothetical sense, but it's like, if we can't get it with everything that's here, like there's no, do you know what I'm saying? Like there is nothing. It's like, there's nothing else that can do it, because it's like, well, I just need one more thing. It's like, no, it. It's like when a customer or a potential customer is like, well, I just didn't like the way you said this to me. And you're like, so if I had said it the other way, you would have bought it? Or if I had done this, you would have. It's like, then just buy it anyways. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, who cares?
It's
you see the value or you don't see the value. Are you lying to me? It's like, if you see all of the points, let's not be like, well, but if it would just get a little bit worse. It's like, everything is here. If it gets too bad, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, alien invasion. I didn't write that. Christine sent me a message. It's still logged into mine, right? But if you've listened to this point, right? If you've listened to this point and you're like, yo, I'm vibing with everything that you say. Like, this all makes sense.
Or another way of phrasing it is like, does this journey sound like it's in alignment with the world you not just want to make happen, but that you realize we need to make happen?
Yeah.
Does it sound like that? Because if yes, then listen to what you're saying here.
Then okay, it is incumbent. I'm not going to use that word. It is your duty. It is your responsibility to actually make it happen. You cannot be like this. Oh, that sounds really cool. I want that. Because when you just want it, it's just sort of like, it's not going to happen. It's like, I want to go.
I would call it congruence. Or like a high say to do ratio. When you say things with your mouth and your words, and then you do it, you have congruence, and then your life fucking works. It's like when I say, hey, I'm going to go make this goal happen. Like, we're going to do this self-perfected event. It's like, I'm gonna fucking do it because I've built that over time. And I know we all know people, right? You may not think it's you, but there are people out there who go, yeah, I'm gonna make this happen, and then they don't fucking do it, and then they don't even think twice about it. So you live a impotent fucking life. It's like you're a man who has no balls. Versus you say, look, I'm gonna go do this, and then you actually make it happen. You may not know all the steps, you probably don't, but you know enough to get started. And then you also have the tenacity to then reach out for help and collaborate and figure it out. It's like there's a big difference when people reach out to help for me when they're like, yeah, can you help me with like this? Or like, where do I find this video? I'm like, did you look? Like, did you fucking go try? And now you're asking for help, or like, are you just acting fucking pathetic right now? Either way,
Yeah.
okay, I'm here to support you. But like, there's a whole nother level where it's like a perfect example of a guy who like really fucking does is like Boris in Texas. He cornered me many times, and then he realized, oh, I don't necessarily need to corner him. Like, I think other people want to know these answers too. So he got me when I was like sitting down the piano bench in the room or sitting on some chair. He's like, okay,
Germans
Mitch.
do that.
He's like, how did you do this? I'm like, okay, cool. I can tell he wants to know. And I'm like telling him, and he's like fucking writing it down. And then like some other people came over and they're like, okay, how did you do this? I'm like, this. It's like that is the culture that we have. Those are the kind of people that fucking settle the new frontier. Because you actually go out, roll up your sleeves, and you realize, okay, once this wagon fucking leaves town or once the ship is going, there ain't no turning back. So it's like the only way out is through. You know?
And you look at Boris and he's like, he actually does the things. Like he's not just over there just taking notes. He's actually doing it. He's actually making it happen. I love talking with him. He's like, oh, Drake.
And then I know in about a week he's gonna send me another message going, "Hey, so I did this, this, and this, then this happened. Like, what do you do here?" Oh, cool.
Right. Right. And like, and you can see it too. He has an amazing, like, he'll do his clubhouses and then he'll send a video and it'll be like all these people are just like enjoying the fuck out of it. Right. And actually you see them then going out in their lives and changing as well. It's so cool. Like what he's willing to do, what he's able to create because of his willingness. And so here's the test for you. If you've listened to this and you're like, yeah, I want that. This is in alignment with the world that I want. Here's the test for you to see if you actually, if you mean that or not, right? Is reach out to either Mitch or myself, right? And just say, this was awesome. What are the next steps? Like, how do I actually create this? Right? Because it's not, if you can't do that, if you're not willing to even do that, like, what are you participating in? You're just like, oh, well, that's a nice fantasy, but you're not actually taking any action. And not only that, it's, remember we were talking about, you're being attacked already. You're succumbing to your mind. Your mind's telling you like, oh, but it's going to be like this. And I'm not ready for that yet. And you're succumbing to your mind. Just take the first step and then get some support to get you to that next step,
And when you then take that step and then Drake and I help you see the next steps and everything, guess what? It feels so fucking good when you have momentum. I'm not saying you do it because it feels good, but I'm saying a byproduct of this is you actually feel alive. You actually feel like fucking powerful, like in a cool way, not in like some ego, you're fucking in your mind way, but like, holy shit, I'm having an effect on the world and I can see it. And then you have people sending you thank you messages or like filling you in on their wins. Like I like winning, right? I like hitting my goals, everything. I like 50 times more when someone sends me a message like, yo, because of this and this, then this happened. Like, thanks. Like that fucking lights me up. So that's what you can do too at a way higher level.
So Mitch, let's make it really clear for them. How can somebody reach you?
Find me on Facebook and just DM me the word podcast. Like, hey, listen to the podcast. What now?
Yeah.
And then we can connect because you might already be doing a ton, or you might be like, I just found you guys. or maybe it's a year from now, people are listening to this, right? And so it's like, just reach out and just say, you listen to this podcast, The New Frontier.
I like how you said, find me on Facebook. We're going to put the link in the description for Mitch and for myself. Right. And you can message either one of us. Right. So it's not like you're like, I don't even know Mitch's name. Like, where do I find him on Facebook?
Yeah, I
Right?
think my name is Mitchell on Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah. But the link is going to be in the description. Just click on that and send us a DM that says podcast, right? So we can take the next steps, right? All right. I think that's it. Do you have anything more?
Jess, if you're listening to this, can you make those muffins? Because Drake definitely.
I want to show you one more thing before we go. Check this out.
Oh
It's
yeah.
kind of blew my mind.
Let me see.
You might have seen this post I put on Facebook. Last night, I went to go feed some of the pigs and get the eggs from the coop, right? And Seneca wanted to go with me. So we're walking out, across the yard or whatever. And she goes, "Look, Cam, right? It's Orion." And I look up and I'm like, "Is it?" So I get out, like on my phone, I have that star, whatever app, Star Walk or whatever. And I look at it, and it's like, it comes into view and then it goes, and it's like Orion. I'm like, holy shit, man. What 5-year-old can just look up and go, "There's Orion"?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's epic.
It's funny because when I first looked at it, I was
You
like,
got
I
a
don't know
good
which one's
iPhone,
Orion.
I was kind of surprised it would let me take a picture. I was like, it's probably not going to. I was like, let's just try it though. And it
Yeah.
actually did. So I think maybe that's just better cameras. I don't know.
It's
Super
kind of
clear.
cool when you start to see it, and yeah, you see the Orion, and then you see like the whole Taurus thing, and because you always hear, I mean, I don't know, people are like astrology and fucking shapes in the sky, but it's pretty cool, especially when you live in the country, because it's like,
Dude.
holy shit, there's a lot of stars up there.
Dude, at
Like, what
night
is
out
that?
here,
Yeah.
especially like, because I'd never really seen this before, like the Milky Way. Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
this
you like
dense,
literally see the Milky Way.
band of I mean, I could see it. I'm like, oh, that's what the fuck people are talking about. Because I never understood that before, but like you see it and it's like, oh wow, it's like this band of stars. It's crazy. It's
Dude,
really cool out here.
dude, remember when you could just like look up in the sky and see stars?
Yeah.
Like, now there's all this light pollution and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. Is that what you wanted to share, Kim?
Yeah, I just wanted to show that. I just thought it was so cool. It's like that's our 5-year-old. You know.
Man.
So awesome.
And so your 7-year-old has a fucking library in his bed. Your 5-year-old can walk outside and point to the stars and say, "Hey, there's Orion."
Your
with
1-year-old
accuracy.
is doing your 1-year-old is doing science experiments with water.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Dad.
and there's so many other kids that we can point to, and we've got plenty of videos that you've seen of those, right? But man, isn't that what you want for your kids? Isn't that what you want for everybody's kids?
Don't you want
as opposed
sourdough
to,
bread and brioche and like all this like
right?
And one other thing, I think the guys will resonate with this. Like, okay, imagine, right? So obviously you hear about Cameron's kids, right? And it's like, imagine hanging out with them. And there's like cool, innocent kids having fun, all that. Now imagine someone walks into the situation, right? And they're like some weird adult that's like trying to impulse them with weird shit. Like, hey kids, talking about Disney and all this weird shit. Are you the kind of guy who's just gonna sit on the sidelines, go, oh yeah, Max and
Don't just say
Sam.
Disney. Don't just say Disney. Make it really fucking clear. Make it like that. What was that
hey,
fucking
kids, do you
show?
want to go to Epstein Island?
The Coco Melon, right? Where it's like, oh, you can be whatever you want. You want to be a girl. You want to be
You
a
want to
girl.
like wear a
Like,
dress and fly
yeah.
around like a princess? And it's
Right.
Like,
So yeah. Now imagine, right? We're in this
because
scenario,
people are
and you
actually
got-
doing that. People are actually walking up to kids and doing that, and they think they're
Yes,
being
yes.
like normal or some shit.
Right. So now for you as the guy listening to this, or whoever you are listening to this, and you're there, and let's say for whatever reason, right, Cameron and Katie aren't there exactly, or Cameron and Katie are distracted with something, but you got the kids there. You care about them. You're like, dude, these kids are fucking like amazing. And now this weird adult comes in. It starts to like, impulse weird shit. Are you gonna just sit on the sidelines? Or would you go like, yo, like, no, and you go in and you direct the situation, right? You remove that adult from the situation. Would you go do that? Odds are you probably would. So whatever that feeling is within you, or whatever that like sensation of like, yo, I gotta direct this shit. Just use that as a reference point for like, that's how you should wake up every fucking day of your life. Like, go out there, meet that next person. If you don't know what to do, have a list of the people you gotta go fucking talk to, and then just go talk to them. Like, it's not that hard. But that is the same ever since I first met Cameron and Katie and all the techno tutor people out in Denver. And then especially too, after a little while, Cameron invited me down there and I got to stay with them for a week. It was like I see Cameron's kids, obviously I can't see them as my own, right? They're not my kids, but it's like in a certain way I see them as my own kids. Like I would want this if I were them. Like this is how I want to support this next generation. I know people listening to this podcast, you have that same sensation of like, like I want to see this through, but you still let your mind fucking castrate you. You still let yourself be impotent. So just
All these fake
look at it like,
Christians who are like, oh, thinking it's all about believing in Jesus and all that and being godly, but it's like actually it's about seeing your neighbor as yourself. It's actually about seeing
yeah,
other children as your children. That doesn't mean you're going to feed them every night and tuck them into bed, but like you're going to make sure that the conditions are there for them to have a really great life. That's
yeah,
the
you're
actual
like a
call to
guardian.
action, not this other bullshit of like believing and hoping and praying.
Right, right. It's like you're a guardian, you're like we're creating this new world together, but you have a responsibility within that. And it is the coolest thing because it will push you in ways that no amount of a dream board with a fucking Ferrari on it or, some extra 2,000 bucks a month coming in your bank account because you have some Amazon store. That's fucking fake motivation. The real motivation is like, yo, like we literally stewards of this. Like we are creating this and this is the new frontier, and so, like, get out on the front lines with us because it's the most exciting, fucking awesome thing in the world. Yet, it needs all of us to do it together.
And it is time to manifest destiny. Let's
Hey,
do it. All right, y'all. If you haven't already clicked below this video and clicked on my name or clicked on Mitch's name and sent us a message, the fuck are you doing?
yeah,
All
reach
right.
out.
See you guys. Bye.